Hello, Donnie.
What you know about?
Huh?
What you know?
I can run 10 miles.
I can run 20. You run 10. This is Marie Roberts. Yes, I was. She changed quite a bit.
Excuse me, Nathan, I don't want to bunk you. No. Alright, guys, we're back.
You don't want to sit in the chair, you're absolutely sure.
I want to sit at the feet of Mr. Banner and learn. And he is great.
We're gonna watch the stream on the street.
No decision was what?
No action was taken. No action was taken.
All right, welcome back, folks. No action was taken, and we're back in session. All right, adoption of the agenda. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda? A motion, I have a second. All those in favor? Where's my wife at? Make sure she's here, because if she wasn't, I'd lose. I'm going to try and politely get this thing back on track, and we're going to address some things, because I am quite frankly tired of this. I am tired of everything that's going on Facebook, not on Facebook. I am tired of all the lies, all the mistruths, all the stirring that we're doing. I am tired of aldermen saying things that aren't true and spinning things. I have run around for the past 3 or 4 daggum weeks, trying my best to get all the answers for everybody, to include the folks at the gas station in Banner Elk. I am tired, Miss Gale, of what you just said. My wife did send it to me, yes, because she's my wife. You know why my wife sent it to me, Gail? Because other people in Blowing Rock were reaching out to her saying, is this woman honestly a town alderman in this, to them, saying that you are supporting that this guy is calling me a crook. Okay? And just like I asked you, have I ever done anything to make you think that I'm a crook? Yes or no?
Not personally, no.
Okay. Do you feel like I'm crooked in any way?
I don't know.
Just like the attorney said, and up until now, up until that closed session, I have tried my best to be a mitigator, and I've tried my best to go out and get information. A good example, Ms. Donna Garland, I've got a file here for 811. I think that you gave me down the road about the 811 and said that you had called and spoke to whatever state agency handles 811. I hadn't even left that meeting, and I was getting all the information that you were looking for, and at some point, if you'd like me, and you can sit down and talk what it is they told you.
I would like to clarify, I wasn't giving down the road, I just made a statement.
You called me out and made me feel like, and made everybody feel like that I had lied. When I said I was told by the town, and you said, well, there's no truth in that, something to that effect. And I've tried, but since Avery Unfiltered decided to shut down and they decided to take down everybody's, interviews and whatever else, it's hard to get. Thankfully, I was able to get one. Here it is. And if anybody has a question, here's our 811 tickets, okay? And on top of that, Gary had not only, Miss Garland, and I don't understand how you didn't know this, because you go to Missy's salon, Gary had gone in there with the 811 guy to ask, is this your address? Because it does not come up, okay?
Gary
And I
was
have
there
packets-
yesterday.
Do what, dear?
He was there yesterday.
No. This is going back
Well,
12/19.
I went over there yesterday to confirm
On
that.
12/19, this is their tickets.
I came to watch your,
Miss Garland, you asked me in an interview about this 811. You said in the interview that you had called in for 2 months prior, there was absolutely no 811s that were called in. Here
is
are
this
they.
on the agenda, what we're talking about?
Yes, it's part of the mayor's report, and I'm trying to clear these things up.
If I wanted to talk to you directly, I would talk to you directly. I don't have anything to say to you, I'm just here to watch.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Garland, during her interview with me, made it out like the town was inept and didn't want to do their jobs and had not contacted 811. And I told her during that interview, please pass that around, feel free, read it, enjoy it. I told her that I would get the information to debunk that because I just didn't believe it. And there it is, there's our pinpoints, there's everything, and to the point that folks were going around town saying that Gary and the town was lying about it. And so that's why I spent the time to go print these off. Here you go, Ms. Gail, pass that over. Amy, Christie. And if I'm not mistaken, one of the board members even brought this up to me and said that we hadn't even called 811, and I think it was because of that right there. If you look at the first picture, you see a gas line. And I even pointed out to Ms. Garland during my interview that the gas line was 40 feet off of where it was supposed to be, per the state. So my point of this is I am tired of having to stamp out, mistruths and issues that people are having. Am I standing here saying that the town has done everything right? No. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying to you, there's nothing nefarious, there's nothing illegal, there's nothing. And we have board members that just keep stirring stuff. And I am trying to get to the bottom of it. We're trying to fire Bill. And let's go through the process. Our attorneys have told us how to do it. I am tired of aldermen calling me liars, and they have no proof. I have provided the proof to the town of lies that board members have said. I don't want to do that. I want to clean the town. I want to put up streetlights. I want to clean up Shoemaker. I want to fix the water pipes. That's all I want to do. That's it. But we have gotten ourselves into this situation where everything is being Monday morning quarterbacked, and we all know what that means. Okay, you can pick apart everything Monday morning. I am tired of all the phone calls. I am tired of I'm just, y'all, listen, I appreciate Ellie and Brandy and Donna and Teresa, Christy Ray, all of you guys that keep wanting to bring all this out. However, this is asinine and ridiculous. And we look like a pack of numbskulls. And the sad part is, we're just trying to get this town turned around and trying to get this town somewhere. I was told the reason I provided these pictures for y'all, I was told, yelled at, that there was no reason to do this work at Missy Pippin's. There was no reason. Took me aback. I was told that aldermen had pictures of proof. There was no reason to do that. Bob, do you see a reason to do this kind of work up here?
Who told you that, though?
Who told me what, sir?
That there was no reason to do that?
The first one would be Miss Gale that I pointed to in the conversation. She said she had photos to prove.
No, I didn't say I had photos. I said there were photos.
Okay.
I don't have any.
And that's the other thing that I'm tired of. I'm not a lawyer, okay? Thank God. I'm asking you a simple question. Any of these pictures, going by what you do for a living, sir, is there a reason? What I want y'all to understand is that first picture is what they found when they started digging.
I don't think there was a question that it shouldn't or should not been done.
Then why do we have a...
I was speaking.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
It was just that it's not been done in a good way. It's not finished. Is it finished?
Of course it's not finished. We have to stop it.
When are you gonna finish?
Whenever this board finally decides that on who we're, and we'll get to that in just a moment, but whenever this board finally decides, I had a good conversation with Kevin Winslow today, who lives on that street. I drive down the street every day because my shop's on it. It's not finished. We need gravel out there, and then eventually we need to pave it. So you're, good sir, telling me that's not done correctly.
Well, if you wanna nitpick it all, the cover isn't put in correctly that's there.
Why?
It's not deep enough.
Okay, so what is your gauge? You have I don't see a tape
There's not
measure.
enough cover on it. Now, if you
Okay, the
wanna-
cover has to be at least half of the culvert. It's covering the top of the culvert.
Correct. You think there's half of that?
The
gravel?
state guidance says it has to go half. And I'm only going by what the state guy told me.
Let him finish one.
Do you think there's that much gravel, half of that culvert on top of that culvert? That's what you just said, that the cover has to be half the culvert, right? That's what you just said.
The state guy said that it has to be, excuse me, to come up half the culvert. It's covering the top.
Not when it goes under a street. How would
That's
you
not on the
drive
street,
over
sir.
it?
That's not on the street. That's down the side.
That's under her.
That is not on the street, I trust
under
me.
her parking.
It's under her parking and then goes under the street.
Where's Gary? Is that under her parking? It's nowhere near her parking, correct?
I'm not sure about that picture. I mean, is that the first piece of pipe we installed?
If this is the culvert at her place, that's under her parking.
I'm not
And it's
sure.
under
Her
the street.
parking, yeah.
Now,
The picture to the right is the first piece that starts at her lot. The one in the middle, I'm not sure exactly where that piece is.
So so what you're saying is this is incorrectly installed?
yes.
Okay, you're the first person concerned that said that. And I know you were out there inspecting it while it was going on.
Yeah.
And anytime you could have come in and told the town administrator, called me and said, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's doing.
You should have done that yourself.
I'm not in construction, I don't do that right
You're
there.
trying to tell me that they.
I'm telling you what the state guy told me.
Which state guy?
Okay, give us a name.
Yeah, I'm curious, because you keep
I can-
throwing up the state guy, but you never say who you talked to.
Investigator Cody is one of the people I'm
Guys.
talking to.
Cody,
Is he who told you that?
He's the general contractor guy. No, he's not the one that told me, but I can assure you, I'll go, because I've talked to Doug Jennings, I've talked to several folks that do
When
this
did
type
you talk
of
to
work.
them?
Last week.
You mind if I call him?
Call him, that's perfectly fine. Didn't ask him about that, but I did talk to him. Feel free to call.
So you didn't talk to him about
No,
that?
did not talk to him about that right there.
Well, then his opinion, then his opinion doesn't matter on that. So his name doesn't matter on that.
you just threw
You
that
just
out there.
asked me if I talked to any contractors. I talked to a
No,
contractor.
no, I asked you what the name was of the state guy that you talked to.
And I'll get his name. I assure you, I've talked to so many people that I'm having to ask them to send me emails so that I can remember, because guess what? This is a secondary job for me. This is not what I do for a living. Okay? Yes.
You know, Derek, I think if you'd have just said that from the very beginning.
Said what, Gail? Oh, Gail.
Excuse me?
Who's Gail?
Donna.
Donna.
If you'd have just acted like that from the very beginning, when people were coming and asking questions about what they had concerns about, you acted like we didn't know what we were talking about.
The
but
first thing that I
Let me
did.
finish, please. And then I'll be quiet so you can finish. You tried to talk over everybody that tries to ask you a question. You don't want to answer the question, you just want to talk over them.
The first time I was told there was a problem, what did I do?
I don't
I
know.
went down and met with Missy Pittman. That's the first thing that I did. I showed up, I said, what's going on? Okay, because I trust in Bill, I trust in Gary, and I trust in the town to get all this stuff done. If you think for 1 minute, if you think that for 1 minute, they keep talking about how much money we spent, that all these invoices, we don't have a lot of work accomplished? Bob, that first picture, look at all the materials and all the pipes. You know how much this stuff costs. Is this stuff cheap?
But did the contractor pay for the material?
No, we pay for most materials. Is that right, Bill? We pay for all the materials.
So the contractor, for how many months of work, made $370,000 or $80,000?
How many months of work? 8 months, a year?
Frank, it's been going on so long, so crazy. I think he started in May.
That's not nowhere near a year.
Okay.
Well, his first invoice was later than
So
that.
you're saying you've never worked a short-term job and made $300,000? Is that what you're saying?
Not with the small machines he has now,
Okay. Go ahead, Gary.
and no material.
No material?
That's what you say, that he didn't pay for any of the material.
No, and I think that's smart on the town that we're not paying an extra, 20%? Is that what you charge for if you supply material?
Sure.
Okay.
But
And I don't have a
what I'm
problem with that.
trying
I'm
to
just,
say is,
I'm just saying,
if
I
he
think
had
it's
paid
smart.
for all the material, that might be a significant or a good amount to pay him. But he didn't pay for any material. That was just strictly labor. And going back to your minutes, and I don't remember if it was you or Mr. Bill, said he was gonna make $60 an hour. And then later in the minutes, in another month, he was making $150 an hour. Now, who was lying there amongst that?
What kind of work was he doing? I don't know what kind of work he was doing.
And the first thing, you told the board, you or Mr. Bill, that he was gonna make $60 an hour, he was cutting your break. Later on, apparently that break didn't come through because he was charging $150 an hour.
Okay. Bill, do you know what he's talking about?
That's in the minutes.
Sir, I'm not disputing that, but I mean, you can throw that out there. Do you have any idea how much time that I've had to spend in the past month dealing with this, chasing down stuff that people have said to do exactly what I'm trying to do, which is get everybody the information they need so we can move on? This makes no sense to me. Are you disputing that we got a ton of work done? Yes or no?
I don't think you got enough work done for the money, no.
Okay, so you've been to all these projects and you see all the work
I
that was
have not.
Then how can you say that?
I'm looking at the time period he worked and the money he charged you. And if he was working by the hour, when we worked by the hour, all of our invoices show how many hours we worked, our rate of labor. He only had 2 invoices, and that was the last couple of invoices that he gave you a labor rate. The rest of it was flat out. He just gave you an invoice for a certain amount of money. How do you know how many hours he worked?
I don't.
So you're just taking his word that he worked so many hours. And you know, I've seldom ever worked my machines on a job for an hourly rate and come up with an even $25,000.
Gary?
We took out a 44-inch pipe and put a 36 back in there, so if that's not enough fill on top of it, there wasn't enough fill on top of it to begin with. And we filled in the best we could with the weather conditions, and the plan was to come back and put more gravel on top of it, but.
Back to my question, Bob. Do you see any problems with these pictures?
Yeah, I said that needs to be replaced.
Okay, then why do I
And
have
I
Alderman
said
say,
then
why do
that
I
I
have
didn't have a
Alderman?
problem with that it being replaced.
Ms. Donna, I think at some point you also said that the work didn't need to be
No,
done.
I never said it didn't need to be done, I said it needed to be finished, I never said it didn't need to be done.
So your issue, if we were to finish it, we wouldn't have to,
Well,
me and you wouldn't have to talk anymore, is that
that's
right?
even your, that has nothing to do with me.
Well,
That's
then what-
Missy's.
What?
That is nothing to do with me, whether.
But Ms.
you go
Donna,
back.
you jumped in on this because you go to Missy's salon and you told me point blank that you're trying to,
That's how I got involved, yes.
right, and now you're telling me that you would be involved.
It's not a decision for me to make whether you go back there and finish that or not, that's not my property.
But I'm asking you, if we were to finish it, we wouldn't have to, and I'm not saying that I won't say hello to you out in town, but we wouldn't have to deal with Ms. Donna anymore, is that correct?
I'm not gonna guarantee you that, no.
Folks, what I'm trying to point out to you is, as I was told by my alderman, and I've heard from people in town that aldermen were saying that this did not have to happen. That right there is a sign that they found when they first started digging. That's the sign that was over that hole right there. This is all real pictures of what we had. This is why the water would not leave and people were flooding out. This right here, this is how they found it. It was not done by our piece of machinery. This is the most fascinating picture that I've seen. And I would like for Bob to tell me if he thinks, I mean, is that all? Is that how it's supposed to go?
You know, I think I've answered this twice already, that I
That's a
think it
different
needs to be
picture.
replaced. Now, you just keep beating that horse. I said that I don't think the pipe was put in correctly. These pictures over here, I don't have any argument with.
Okay, all right. And I was told, I didn't know this picture was so important. I was told this is a picture, an important picture, because it shows apparently the decay. Gary, help me out with this picture here. What was it so important about this picture? It shows the decay of something?
Is it where it's showing the water that's been going down the side of the pipe?
Yeah,
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 because the pipes weren't connected together.
yeah. So the reason I put this little fiasco on is because I'm tired of everybody saying that we shouldn't have done the work at Missy Pippin's. If you dispute it, then let's go talk to Alcee Sturgill, or talk to Glenn Johnson. Alcee Sturgill came in here 2 years ago asking us to start this, to get this done, because her trailer park is being washed away. And here we are, because of this, I'm being called a crook on Facebook by one of my aldermen. Not done anything crooked, trying to get everybody all their answers. And I've got an alderman that's going behind the town's back, talking to this contractor that nobody seems to like. Christie, why would you tell Carl about Roger resigning before the town knew about it?
Carl knew about it.
Why would you tell Carl about the resignation?
Carl knew about it. Roger told him
Okay, why would you be in discussions with Carl about that?
because he liked Roger.
That doesn't explain why you're asking to go to lunch.
I don't have anything personally against Carl.
So now,
And
this
besides
meeting-
that, it's none of your business. I don't go to
So
lunch.
now, at this meeting, you're saying you did not invite him to lunch? or-
No, I'm not. I said it's none of your business till I go to lunch.
At the last meeting, you clearly stated that you never invited Carl to go to
No,
lunch.
I did not. Yes, you did.
It's on YouTube. So I guess you figured out that I got a copy of your text message between them where you say, let's go do lunch for dinner.
Yeah. I think I told you I texted.
It makes no sense why the board members are going around. Go ahead, Ellie.
In our phone call the other day, you had implied to me that you would attempt to conduct this meeting in a old-fashioned way of conducting.
I never said old fashioned, but go ahead.
You didn't say old-fashioned, but you know what I'm. And so far, we are an hour and 5 minutes in, and I've not seen any of that, including from other audience members and myself. This is not, I should be standing up and talking. But I'm very hopeful, as I'm sure other people in the audience are, that we can have a successful meeting where we're not calling out people in the audience this time and things like that.
Then how, Ellie, am I supposed to go about getting this information out? Like the 811 lies that have been told in this town now for 4.5 weeks. That's a
That's
lie.
defeating my point. That's what I'm saying.
So
That's-
I'm asking, dear. So if we go
Don't
back
call me
and,
dear, I'm an adult.
okay. How, Ellen, are we supposed to get this information out if we don't do, and so you'll know, I am allowed to speak like this. This is part of the agenda. I am allowed to say, this is what I need to get out, because to the point that there are people going to be investigated in this room for illegal actions. Okay? That's a fact. That's a fact. Okay? Things have been done that cannot be done. All right? And can't be undone. Okay? So how am I supposed to do it? If I go by your stance, jump into this 3-minute deal, I'm perfectly fine with, well, I'm not fine with that. I would never say to a town member they had only 3 minutes to speak and that the board member don't have to answer the questions. That will never happen as long as I'm mayor.
Okay, you told me on the phone that you would do that though, so.
No, I did not. I
Yes,
said
you did.
I would absolutely get it back in track, and I would ask people to respect other people's boundaries. This is me
That's all.
discussing, trying to point out what's going on.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. I am trying my very best, because I have board members, for whatever reason, that think that it's okay to run around and stir folks up, and I am trying my best to get all the information out, and I feel like I am inundated with it. Don't understand why we have some people from other towns that have come to our town to jump in on this, okay?
Amen.
Because Newland is a hub of our county.
Newland is a
And
Newland's
you
a county
have,
seat,
you
100%.
have, you have students that come to Newland that drink our water. You have people coming to our restaurants that drink our water and eat our food and do business in this town.
And ironically,
So
ma'am,
they
if we
are
weren't doing what
concerned.
we're doing now, we've gotta fix this stuff.
We do, and that's why I think one solution that you all can request so that this doesn't happen is contacting High Country Council of Governments, contacting the League of Municipalities, so that this banter back and forth doesn't happen. They will be able to work with you all and teach a very professional way to go about conducting business of the town to move this town forward.
Ms. Gill?
Tiffany, I have. I've
Okay.
contacted both of those places. Hopefully, they're watching our meeting tonight.
Okay,
I've told at both places, people that I talked to, when our meeting was and that it would be on YouTube. So I hope that they are watching.
I know
But
High
have
Country
reached out.
Council of Governments has watched several, and they are limited in that they can only provide services if you all request that, and they're limited in what they can provide, so I think it's gotta be a comprehensive approach of several different agencies, because this, unless we have an outside professional agency coming in to help our town with you, mayor, and the rest of the aldermen to get along, our town is not gonna move forward.
I disagree
It's
with
not.
that. I disagree with that statement.
I've watched
We've
it.
done more since I've been mayor than the previous mayor did in 16 years, to include lights, dog parks, clean up Shoemaker, clean up the side roads. I've
But
repainted all.
policies and procedures are not being followed.
Okay, we haven't had a good policy and procedure since. And another thing I'll tell you, Ms. Tiffany, so you know, Bill, how long ago did I send the letter to LGC, whatever they're called, and requesting the exact same thing Ms. Gale did? A month ago?
About a month ago, yeah.
Yes, we're all desperate for it, and I'm sure they're gonna come down and smack me on my hand, because I definitely handle my meetings differently. But I'm never gonna tell folks that I live with, that sounds weird, but folks that I reside in a town with, that you cannot get out what you want to say. And I'm definitely never gonna support our board members. Read that, right there behind that gentleman right there, it says that board members do not have to answer the questions. Do you think that's okay? Board members don't have to answer questions?
I have never been to a public meeting where they have answered questions. This is the only one that I've attended that they have answered questions. I'm always used to have the 3-minute public comment, and them taking time to process it. This is the first one I've ever attended that's that way.
Yeah, well, that's fascinating, because
I think that, you know, even if League of Municipalities didn't reach back out, I think you all need to stay on top of the different agencies to be able to help you all.
okay, thank you, Tiffany. Okay, I've tried to get it out. I'm overly frustrated. I'm just trying to get this down where everybody wants this town to be. And I'm tickled that we've had one Facebook page get shut down, or had to be shut down. Not because I was against what we were saying, I'm just tired of all this back and forth and all the mistruths that are being said. I'm tired of us being on everybody's radar, and everybody's got their popcorn at home watching our YouTube channel. Does anybody have any questions about why we did the Missy Pittman project? Because I have been told numerous times, to include board members, that we did not have to do it. Does anybody here dispute we needed to do that work? Does everybody understand the 811 fiasco, and have I properly answered that? Because I know that's come up.
I'm not, I may be the only one here that doesn't know what the 811.
811 is a utility management, state utility management, and whenever you go to dig, you have to call them.
Oh, okay.
And right here, you'll see there's a yellow, it's over here. You'll see, you can see it laying in the water. That's 40 feet off of where it was supposed to be. And the allegation was the town did not call 811, and we did not get a ticket on it, and we did not do what we're supposed to. The true story is not only did we call 811, but we went and spoke with the salon owner, Missy Pittman, and said, we're trying to figure out what address you are, we're trying to get this right. And so I don't know how it got so off track, that we had not done it, and I'm glad that the town did do it. Thank you, Gary, for providing that paperwork. Okay. I'm sure that I have missed something in my little rant, so I guess I'll bring it back up at the end. So let's move on to the adoption of camping ordinance. Who wants to speak on that, Bill?
So a couple months ago, the police department asked me to help them work on being able to get people from camping. In the particular case, it was the van shell. They were camping overnight on the van shell. And they felt like after talking to, they have a separate attorney that they use, that we needed to do an ordinance that says, hey, don't do that, and give the police the authority to do that, to remove them from the property. So I came to you in December, maybe November, with the ordinance. We've got so many things going on. I haven't brought it back until now. But it's an ordinance you've seen. I made a couple of stylistic changes that were recommended. Maybe Lauren said something, but it's just back to you for review. It restricts use of town property overnight unless there's a function going on, and that's the crux of it. And it gives the police the authority to remove somebody from the property after dark if we're not having a function. And it just applies to town-owned property.
Somebody called up with a kerfuffle today that we didn't do a special meeting or a town where everybody's allowed to talk. Do we need to do that?
Well, this,
The public hearing.
this is
Public
a
hearing.
public hearing.
Is this our public hearing?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't, you're passing an ordinance, so you have different restrictions for passing, say, a development ordinance or an annexation than you do for passing a town ordinance.
Thank you, but you need a 60%, 66 and 2/3 vote. It's a
Yeah.
2/3 majority.
Yes, it would have to be a majority vote or a 100% vote, or you have to have 2 votes.
Chief, have you talked to Bill about this? We'll help y'all.
Yes.
Can I get a motion? Motion. I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Is that the mathematical?
That is, yeah, had to have at least 3.
Okay. All right, junk cars ordinance.
10 explosive vehicles for him. I don't know, we didn't bring it up.
He's the one that asked me.
No, let's be honest about it. It was in an email thread to where you brought up livestock over my son's chickens.
And you brought up junk vehicles.
And I said, well, we couldn't worry about your junk vehicles and jail.
Okay, so you asked for the junk vehicle, you asked Bill, so they give us the junk vehicle. Yes
I
or no?
never asked it go on the agenda. No, I did not ask for it to go on the agenda. You did, Mr. Mayor, in your email.
Okay, well, it's on the agenda, so how about this? Let's start moving forward with, if you have a junk vehicle in your car, in your, yard, we need to start getting folks to get rid of it, because it looks awful, correct?
Well, that would be an endeavor for staff. There's a lot of junk vehicles around town and abandoned vehicles. So there's two classes of vehicles. Junk vehicles can't run, don't have tires, that don't have a license plate on them. Abandoned vehicles may have a tag on them, the tag expired, it doesn't run. I mean, there's a list of criteria in statute that we adopted. So the state statute is what we adopted and what we enforce.
We're going by that, Alderman Johnson, Mayor Pro Tem, I don't have any junk or abandoned vehicles.
Okay.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I've seen the one who does, I'm sure that is,
I have no idea. That would be up to yours, sir. I mean, I don't know. If you say you don't have them, I'm not one to dispute it. I know that there's several sitting around your shop.
what's that magic word you just used? It's a shop, so that means I'm either working on them or they're being used.
I mean, we can move on.
Livestock and livestock ordinance. I've been receiving complaints as the town about Alderman Johnson's chickens in his backyard. And we have a livestock ordinance, so do we need to discuss this or we can move on? Chicken livestock? It's fowl. It's no fowl, no livestock. no-
Unless grandfather did, I
Unless
will
grandfather
note that.
is correct.
The ordinance itself is, well, it's kind of a weird title, it's a sentence rather than a title. It says, "No person may keep within the town any livestock and or fowl except in accordance with this section." And then it lists off what is livestock and fowl.
Can you read the whole one?
What was your argument? You had an argument in the email.
Let me see if I can get my head back around it. It's something interesting is that it says it, one of the paragraphs says, "It shall be unlawful for any person to maintain, keep, or house any cattle, goat, horse, swine, ducks, geese, turkeys, guineas, or any other livestock within the corporate limits of this town." And it, oddly enough, it didn't mention chickens, okay? And if you look at the title of it, "No person shall keep it except in accordance with this section." So, you know, if you're not keeping them, an argument is, if you don't specifically say it, you intended to omit it. So.
Does it specifically say fowl though? I thought that the title was
It
fowl.
says-
The title says fowl, but there is and I think in our ordinance, we've got something that says the titles are for reference only, but not binding, okay? So that's not law. What's law is after it.
But it does say including ducks, and
Yeah,
construction of law means that's not inclusive of just those items.
it ought to say including but not limited to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, so it creates
Yeah, this is
uncertainty.
2015,
Yeah, it just creates uncertainty. And then, oddly enough, there's a note, to make it even more uncertain is, there is a handwritten note here that says chickens, ducks, horses, etc. But we don't know where that came from, when it came from.
Right.
If minutes passed it, we don't know what happened.
Yeah, we did a quick search and didn't find any reference to that note.
We just don't, we don't know.
Yeah.
So if you want, and I think my advice to them was, if you don't want chickens, let's amend it and say chickens. That would be the certain way. Otherwise, lawyers are gonna make money fussing about what it means.
I thought the disagreement discrepancy was Jamie was saying the chicken wasn't foul.
No, Jamie just knew he could, that his son could have the laying hens in the backyard. And I mean, and just for the record, Mr. Mayor, asking in a very calm voice, who complained, the rock gym or the swimming pool?
The person that complained to me doesn't want to be named.
Okay, the
But I
person.
disagree, and listen, I disagree with the anonymous stuff. I don't care a bit before you decide. I think the reason they don't want it put out is because they're afraid of you and your shenanigans.
I should.
So,
Something.
yes, ma'am, go ahead.
I know one reason that we didn't think anything of having chickens is I worked on Banner Hill for 12 years, and there was a house up there that owned chickens, which is inside the town limit.
Yes, ma'am, and they've been there for over 60 years.
She's speaking.
I'm not saying that's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, but when we got our chickens, we discussed it, we talked about them being up there, and we got our chickens. And I don't think no one maliciously went against the town and said, well, it doesn't matter that we're on the board, we're gonna get chickens, it doesn't matter what anyone else says. Our decision for getting chickens was that I personally knew, I didn't know the people, but I knew there was a house in town that owned chickens. And that was one of the reasons that we went forward with getting some, just to have some laying hens for our son to raise, teach our son to raise the chickens.
Can I comment?
Absolutely, Mr. Barrett.
I'm the man on Banner Hill.
And if I'm not mistaken, because of you is why you're grandfathered in, and they made the ordinance for moving forward after.
Well, it's because of my ancestry.
Right, correct.
When the Depression hit here, we were self-sufficient. We had chickens, pigs, who are these people moving in here that think they are?
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was like when the store was running out of food every day?
I do.
Jamie, did anybody approach you and say, you might have to eat them chickens?
Yeah.
How many times did you hear it? I heard it every time I went to the grocery store. You damn right it become a reality. With the Chinese involved with shutting down the grid, it's a real reality. You'll love my roosters then.
Yeah.
You love to get a hold of one of them. I'll have to guard them with a damn gun.
Amen.
I remember when every patch of ground that was bare had milk cows on it. If hard times come, it's no damn joke. We're all afraid of it. If you aren't, you ain't bright for shit.
And Phil, I completely agree, but I also think because of your chickens, is why the town at that time decided to come up with the livestock fowl in the town limits. Is that correct? And they, hold on, Phil, and they grandfathered you in. Don't worry, nobody's
Yeah.
showing up to give you a hard time about your chickens.
And if anybody gives him a hard time, they gotta look over his
I
daughter,
understand that, I
yeah.
understand.
Just
I'm just trying to make the point that because of Mr. Banner's chickens, that's why this came up, and then they grandfathered your chickens in and said, moving forward, we will not allow chickens, guineas, cows, goats, whatever in town. Because, real frank, I don't wanna drive into town, and it's supposed to be an incorporated little town with police and all these services and you know. And
You're used to Charlotte.
No.
Yeah, you are.
No.
You damn right you are. This is a community in the mountains. We have a different environment all the way around. We have a different genealogy.
And Mr.
We're here and you love this town because we built it this way.
Correct, but Mr. Banner, at some point before me, they said that they didn't want all this.
Well, we can change it back.
Okay, well, let's.
You made bad comments about bear hunters the other day. We're waiting on you, by the way.
Okay.
When you start on the dogs, you're gonna have you some trouble.
Ellie, help me out, where'd you go?
She left.
Okay, nobody's coming after bear dogs, okay? I don't agree with bear hunting, but nobody's coming after bear.
I don't either. I don't either. I don't
Nobody's
either.
coming after them.
I don't agree with it.
Yeah.
But if you wanna see chickens taken care of, mine are.
Very well taken care of.
And Mr. Banner, I know that.
And Jamie's dogs are taken care of that I've seen.
Against you and your chickens.
No, I'm against this community turning into somebody they aren't.
That was one of the reasons we.
We're all dying, Mr. Roberts, we're all dying out. The property owners are almost dead. You'll be able to take it and sell it to damn Chinese when we're gone. I'm not saying you. I'm saying that's where we're headed. This is not progress. With times like there, now, calm me down. There's no cities around that aren't passing ordinance. Guess what? Because of all this stuff, they want their home eggs. They want their little pinned up chickens. You wanna mess with the chickens, make sure that they're contained.
Well, I learned more about chickens riding around with him for the past year and how if you feed them the wrong feed, they won't put out eggs. I mean, it's wild. I had no idea that agriculture was.
Well, we love our chickens. Jamie loves his chickens, I love
And
mine.
Mr. Banner, I don't have 100% have a problem. The problem that I have is we have an ordinance. So going by what you're saying is you wanna go ahead, you want the board.
So you're saying we're the only county in the state, I've heard this one too.
Yeah.
We're the only county in the state that doesn't have one. You know what I remember plainly? We were the only Republican county in the state. They thought we were dumbasses then.
Well, I'm proud to say we are still on the Republican.
Yeah, isn't that good? No, Robinson County.
Go ahead, Tiff.
Well, I'm sorry, I'm so excited, but you're starting on the dogs and the chickens, it's insane.
I'm asking because I truly don't know. I need maps. But is High School Road on,
No.
in the town? Okay. The other thing to consider is that, 4-H has historically done a program with our kids, around learning to grow different animals. So maybe taking into consideration how that could impact that could be something that they are interested in, which serves as a protective factor. Just something to consider and think through. I don't even know if they still do that program. I know they have done that program, in the past.
And Tiffany, I would like to speak to that, and I think my son, and if this comes to a vote, I'm gonna recuse myself from this vote. Okay? But my son had to work tonight, but you can ask my wife, he planned to be here to fight this battle. My son tends those chickens. I don't feed these chickens, do I, Melody? Do I water those chickens?
I'll vouch for him right now. They're his son's chickens. I know that for a fact. One of his girlfriends gave him one, which I thought was interesting, but we're in the mountains and it's different.
And
he got nothing to do with, trust me, Jamie's got nothing to do with his chickens.
And what he does is he writes little lots, and at the end of this project through FFA, he can earn a scholarship. He can get money for college. And that's why the chicken's here. Now, you know, I could understand folks complaining or whatever, but everybody knows where I live. You know, those chickens are behind the fence, behind the fence, behind the fence.
That's not there.
I mean, there's a fence around the yard, there's a dog kennel around the chickens, and there's a fence on your coop.
I think the issue is your neighbors don't wanna look or hear chickens.
Okay, and we would like to know which neighbors, because all the neighbors I approached, the one closest to me, he's 80-some years old, and he advised me he loved it. Okay, there is nobody in the White
I
House.
think you've had other complaints, other than the one I've had. Is that not correct?
I've had phone calls, so I've not spoken to anybody in person.
Okay,
And then you told me about the complaint that you received.
okay.
So I do not know names.
So let's do this, I mean, let's cut to the chase. Does the board want to amend this or change this so that Jamie's sons can keep his FFA chickens? Is that what we're gonna do tonight?
I'll recuse myself from the vote, but I'm gonna state an opinion. Y'all talk all the time about how you're not for controlling things, it's somebody else's property and all that, and I wanna thank Mr. Banner back there for standing up. Because my opinion is if you own your property in town, Dennis, I know you got a place. Faye, I know you got a place. What's next? What about
These urban chickens are huge. It's a big industry.
Yeah.
All the cities are allowed. Now, you're talking about, you're going back again? Is that what we're saying?
No.
No, this is what it is. I have to keep mine in control. They get killed. They get killed. People kill them. You have to
I want us to
control.
vote it down, because I'm a steak man myself. I'm gonna get me a big old fat heifer and put it in my front yard.
That'd be good. We used to have every acre of ground that was bare, when I was a kid, had a cow. Over there at the bottom, where was a pasture, the Department of Social Services.
Yeah.
When the times was hard, you can't eat Christmas trees. You could look out there, you couldn't get hard enough to make us starve.
We're not goats.
You couldn't make us starve.
I might wanna get a goat too. Can we
But the
do
thing
this?
without some sort of, and I'm sorry, but without some sort of collective effort to try to have somewhat of a control, okay? To where we can still enjoy our properties the way that we're supposed to, right? But without some sort of control and things being in place, things will get out of control. And I'm not just, hold on, Daddy. I'm not, here's the thing, and I'm not just saying for livestock and all these other things. There's a little banter here. But there does need to be some sort of placement, like, hey, they have to be encapsulated by something, or something to that extent to where, hey, if you want to enjoy your property that way, great, you can enjoy your property that way, but there does need to be a limit to it, just like how we have the 4 dogs. Okay, so that does not mean the litters of puppies, but 4 dogs, right? Just some sort of control, and if you don't have control, things get out of control. That's why we have a police, right? You guys are supposed to serve, protect, and implement the laws that are set in place, correct? Okay, so that's some sort of control. That's all that I'm trying to say right there. And if anything ever happens to my dad's chickens, I'll probably end up, well.
I'll have to say, in all the history, I've never had problems, just good relations.
Yeah.
And particularly the policemen now, problems like that, they're very good at solving that. They're very humane to all the people here, they're very good at it. We're blessed with that. We don't want us fighting. We don't want to fight these guys because they don't want to get our chicken. No, if anybody needs chickens, everything needs to be controlled.
I was tickled when I was told that Mr. Banner's chickens were grandfathered in on this. I mean, when I heard that, I was like, okay. Because to be real frankly, I've had this complaint for a while, and I've sat on it, then Mr. Johnson decided to call the county and complain on me about something.
Okay, Mr. Johnson never called the county.
I'm gonna get Phil Berry coming in here.
Please do.
Okay. Go ahead.
Can I just say, let's move along,
Yeah.
either vote or not vote.
Yeah.
We don't need all the little sarcasm innuendos with everybody, vote or not vote.
Yeah, and I agree, and I've asked that, are we gonna change this? Is that what we're doing? Go
I
ahead.
just want to remind you, you're in the planning process that will result in ordinances that you'll approve, which could cover this. Or you can direct me, I've written.
How about we do this? How about
I've written
we,
these 100 times.
how about we give, old Mr. Johnson Mulligan here, because they're FFA chickens for right now, and if I get called out, I'll say, well, this is what we're doing temporarily until the planning board, and we'll allow him to keep his chickens.
Gerald already said he'd keep his chickens, right, Gerald?
Well, I'm saying it's unclear whether chickens are included in the prohibition.
Gerald's going by that he doesn't think that a chicken is a fowl. That's
Well, I don't think that the title is the law. I think that explains what these things in here are. And that's, it says except in accordance with this section, and then it says, it lists everything, but it doesn't list.
Yeah, if you're gonna
Doesn't
list
list
everything,
chickens.
list chickens.
Yeah, and I can just see the argument coming up is that it's not, yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah. And I don't know if you want anything to fight over.
I'm not trying to interrupt you, Gerald, or anything, but I'm just gonna bring this up real quick. We're sitting here arguing about people's property, people's vehicles, whether they're classified junk or being worked on or whatever. And there's a lot bigger issue. We got over $300,000 out there we gotta figure out real quick. So if y'all gonna vote or whatever, or put it off, I'll recuse myself from it and we'll move.
I think we should complete a process in order
So you can, there's a warning notice issued, so you can say, you can direct staff to ignore that as a board. And not proceed until we have the zoning ordinance and planning policy in place. So you can do that. The other thing you can do is just say, we're gonna exempt this particular thing and cite a reason for exempting it, FFA, it's a school project. And everything goes back to status quo, or you can direct staff to, develop an ordinance to present to the board, or remove the ordinance. It's really a strange ordinance. I'm not sure how it got there. It
I think
doesn't
you
follow
got
the
that one
ordinance
two or three
format.
times, and sometimes when you do things 2 or 3 times, you don't
Yeah.
get how the whole thing reads as a whole. That would be my.
Yeah, this is a one-off thing that doesn't follow the ordinance pattern for some reason, so, it's 2015, I'm not sure how.
Because other people have chickens too. Not only you, I think there's people that.
Yeah, there's people, I hear them, you can hear me wake up in the morning and crow, you can hear them howl with the coyotes every morning.
I think they were taking into account the the eggs, selling the eggs or eating the eggs, maybe? Donetta could probably tell us more.
Well, and he's right, I did research on this as a planner, and literally 70% of
Chickens.
cities,
Oh, no.
over 10,000 people in this country have ordinances allowing chickens.
Yeah, it's a matter of survival. It's all this Mother Earth news bullshit.
Yes.
You know, that's what it
My
is.
suggestion would be, what Bill said the first time is direct, have the policy not to enforce this until we can get the zoning and planning and bring it to. I think that's a good one. Or, I think that's a pretty big number.
Yes, Ms. Nancy?
We should have that done by October, the 1st of October. And I would like to encourage all board members to come to our meetings. I think y'all would learn a lot of what we're working on. It would be beneficial. Keenan has come to every single one, Jamie's come to one, but the other two have never come.
I will say that I do watch them on YouTube.
All right, so can I get a motion that we suspend this for Jamie's son's FFA project?
Do you have something?
I'm sorry for not standing up. All respect, I don't want to.
Let me help you on that.
To the, well, I don't want to mess with the camera. As somebody who owns a place across the street where people sleep, not having roosters at 5 or 5:30 in the morning would be appreciated, that I didn't have to.
Oh, I'm gonna be hot. I'm gonna be hot. If my neighbor gets chickens, I'm got up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Chickens are different than roosters.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Yeah.
cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yeah, it would be nice if we did not have to field those complaints, Mr. Mayor.
I'm happy going to English. Calling Mr. Banner up saying I need chicken. Okay, can I get a motion that we suspend this for Jamie's son's FFA chickens unless they die beforehand, and then kick this down the road to the planning?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second? All those in favor? All right, moving on.
Kenzie, please let it be known I recuse myself.
Staffing levels of public works.
So you guys put this off till this meeting, last month. We talked to you about the staffing levels and public works, public employees. That's one person. So just wanted to know, you're gonna keep it one person and you're gonna hire, I mean, right now, one other person would be missing. Gary is working about 15, 16 hours every day. He's having to work on weekends when it's raining and snowing. He's having to read the wells every morning. So, you know, there is quite a bit of work to do that, and if we get a simple water leak, we're gonna have help every single time.
Have we had any applications?
We haven't advertised because you haven't directed.
Well,
I think we
I think we
emailed to.
did. We did.
Yeah, we directed you
and
the
I
email.
talked to you and I talked to Gary after the last meeting.
Yeah, I've had,
Please move forward.
you have been, but I have to 3.
I know, but you emailed.
Yeah, we all emailed. Do you agree?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get it. I got nervous. I didn't get it.
I agree, she agreed.
Okay, so just go forward. and
Advertise. If anybody in here needs a job, good employees, good management.
We'll get that out tomorrow. Thank you.
Okay.
Vacant position on the town council board.
Find that person in Providence right now.
Thank you. I agree.
How do you respond? How do you respond?
Oh, he can have his own show.
It seems like in the policy, it says that, if one steps down, then the next one that was in line.
Next highest vote getter.
It's whether we like the person or not, or whatever, it seems like that person's supposed to be in there until the next.
That's the state tradition, yes.
I mean,
It's just traditional, but it's not required.
it's not required,
No,
okay.
that's just traditionally what's happened.
That makes common sense, but as Mr. Banner alluded to, we don't operate on much common sense here.
That's true.
So, can I get some, Christie, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Do you wanna go with the next highest vote getter? Do you wanna try and find somebody else for whatever odd reason? What's your thoughts?
I'm really gonna approach by you.
know that the next highest vote getter has made it clear he would like to have.
He got lost.
Okay, well, I'm really, oh, wow, okay. Ms. Gill?
I've tried to think of people, but nobody in their right mind wants to do it. So I wouldn't be opposed to Dave coming on, if that's what he truly wants to do.
Okay.
I mean,
Mayor Pro Tem?
I would like to be approached by the candidate and have him come tell me he's interested in it. Or anybody else that lives in town, I would be glad to listen to you, talk to you, you know. Tiffany?
No, sir.
Okay.
Maybe planning, but.
We'll go for Don. You know anybody else?
Keenan?
My thoughts haven't changed. I think we should still go with the highest vote getter. I believe the people spoke through their voting, and that's what I'm.
Very good, Keenan, damn good.
Okay, I will say to the board, I feel very strongly that the community has made it clear to me the next highest vote getter, so I'm kinda so what I'm hearing is you two need to hear from Dave personally, and then if y'all hear from Dave that he in fact does want to, then is that what I'm hearing?
Or what, you know, if, I would think, and nothing against somebody that could be busy, could have something with their family. But, you know, since the election, we've had 3 meetings now. And I know she didn't resign until a couple of months ago, but we've had 2 meetings and, you know, and I'm not saying they're not interested, but it would be nice to see them here and say, hey, I'm very interested in this.
I feel the reason that that slot hasn't been filled is because we keep pushing it off.
100%.
I'd like to get this finalized so that we can work on the bigger issues.
Okay, well, it sounds like I'll reach out to Dave and call the 2 of y'all and come back next time and hopefully vote him on. Planning board terms. What is that, Bill? What are planning board terms? I don't know what that means.
So the statute requires that when you set the board, you have to set the terms for each person. We have a 5-member board. We changed that because we had trouble getting 7. So you have to have people serving staggered terms so that we can get them on staggered terms. Designate somebody for 3-year terms, somebody for 2-year terms, somebody for 1-year terms. So they've already nominated a chair and a vice chair,
Yeah.
which, go ahead, sorry,
Nancy's chair, right?
yes.
Vice chair is this one.
And then we had somebody volunteer for the 1-year term, which was Nicole.
But she wanted the 1 year, right?
Correct.
We have to be the ones to finalize their terms, or can they not figure that out?
Well, you have to finalize everything. They're a board that represents and recommends to you. My suggestion, we have a chair and a vice chair to get the 3-year terms. We've already got a 1-year term, so the other 2 will get the 2-year terms. So you're gonna have 2, 2, and 1 in some fashion.
And then do they all get the same terms after that?
They all become 3-year terms if you reappoint them. So this is a one-time deal. If and when they get reappointed, or whoever gets appointed to the position at the end of the current set of terms, it'll be a 3-year term. Everybody will be on 3-year terms, but they'll just be staggered.
So we just need a motion to keep it status quo.
Yeah, like I say, I've got the chair and vice chair as the 3-year term. This is my take from the meeting. The Nicole for the 1-year term, so the other 2 members would be the 2-year term.
Martha and Chrissy.
Yes.
Those from the planning board meeting, here tonight, are you guys okay with those numbers?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
I make a motion that keep, those terms.
I think, yeah.
All those in favor? Okay,
Thank you.
all right, the fun part, public comments.
How about planning board?
I need some reading glasses. Planning board rules and procedures.
I think we accepted we accepted the rules and procedures in our last meeting last week.
So, well, you You
Yeah.
need to adopt them because that's your set of rules for the board. So you've seen the rules before. They had 7 members on it. We changed it to 4 or 5 members, and we changed the date that they would be adopted to today.
I was like, we don't sign it, we make a motion.
Yeah, you have to accept it, the mayor would sign it, and then Mackenzie would, just a formality, Mackenzie would sign off on it.
I'll make a motion that we adopt the rules and procedures for Newland Planning Board.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
I can't call you.
Okay, we're gonna go to, public comments. Dreamer? Do I need to sign that?
Okay, I've been here in this town for about 18 years. I've only been to one board meeting. Now I know why. But, I'd like to ask all the aldermen one question. And I want you to answer with one sentence. Why did you become on the board? Why did you want on the board? Anybody?
I ran for the voice of the people and to help clean up this town.
Okay, Jamie?
I ran because I love this town. I was born and raised here, and I wanna see it prosper. I wanna see it hold on to its small town values and also grow
Just one sentence.
the right way. How about a run on the sentence?
I ran because I love Newland and I wanted to help.
Okay, Christie, one sentence.
To represent the citizens of the town.
Derek?
To clean the town up, and to move the town forward.
Okay. Did you hear what each one of you said? You said you wanted to help the town. Have you done it? I don't think so. After, I've been watching the board meetings, and, it looks like about all of you, maybe with one you, Keenan. I just wanted to be on that board to make a name for yourself. I haven't seen any progress being made, hardly. Have you not heard of teamwork? Instead of going behind each other's backs, I don't care if it's on Facebook, I don't care if it's taking people out to lunch, y'all are professionals. Shame on you, shame on y'all for bringing this town down. We look like a bunch of idiots. We look like a bunch of idiots. This town needs more people to stand up, and if it means to get every one of y'all off, then that's what it means. Because I don't see any of you all working together as a team. You want to get to that one place right there, but you want to make a name for yourself and say, I did that. I did that. That's not right. That's not right. I mean, and as far as a county employee, or a town employee, you are the ones that hired them. Why do you have to micromanage them? Why would you even hire somebody if you gotta micromanage them? Can they not make a decision on their own? This is crazy, it's ludicrous. Well, it's no wonder these maintenance people don't wanna work. Why don't y'all get out in the ditches with where they work? Look at all this mud and gut. Get out there yourself, see what it's like. I don't see nobody out there like that. They're breaking their backs for minimum pay, not much pay, same as our cops. They don't even get credit. And, you know, as far as, I just don't understand why make policies if you're not gonna live by them? That's another thing. It just doesn't make sense. And you say, y'all want what's best for the town. Does this look what's best for the town? Does it? Can you actually say, this is what you want for your town?
It's far from.
Shame on y'all. Shame on every one of you.
I'll take this opportunity real quick to point out, going by, what Ms. Elliott was talking about, I should have shut her down about a minute and a half ago. And that's why I don't. She gave an impassioned speech that she felt like she needed to say. I think we all needed to hear it. This board needed to hear it. I think I needed to hear it. And I appreciate it, Dream. I advise you to come to every meeting.
Don't think I won't now.
Now
I need more entertainment. I'm a single mom, I need more entertainment. I'll bring my popcorn next time.
TV's kind of boring, isn't it?
Come here.
It is.
I have to hurry because my boys are getting ready to play basketball.
Okay.
So I just wanted to say thank you, Gail, for contacting, High Country Council of Government, I think it's much needed. I've come to a few board meetings, watched a lot on YouTube previously because I have 2 teenagers and a 2-year-old. I have a public health background and I got really invested or involved with the water situation. And policies and procedures are there for any business to protect not only the business, but then also the people that that business serves. And in regards to the water, I wish I could have come in January. I couldn't. I don't remember the reason why. Probably a ball game. Either policies and procedures need to be created and put in place, and I'm happy to help volunteer with that if needed, or they're just not being followed. So when we had the boil water advisory, the advisory was lifted before testing was done.
There's no truth
on
in
the
that.
first one.
There's no truth in that.
Yes, there is.
Gary?
On the first one, the one December 28th, that we got a call from reverse 911 that it was lifted around 9 a.m. and the test results had not come back until that afternoon at 1.
Every time that it was lifted, it was tough because Gary had got to receive whatever report. And furthermore, I think one of them, the first one you're talking about was not an infiltration, it was an exfiltration, which means it was only going out, there was nothing that could come in.
So anytime, just let me
Okay.
finish, get through everything. So anytime there's a loss of pressure, there has to be a boil water advisory. And it can't be lifted until the testing has come back. With that boil water advisory, there should also be communication to the town or whatever area of the town that's under the boil water advisory, not only listing that there's a boil water advisory, but for when it starts, also advising people how long to boil their water till it's safe, and when it's expected to be lifted. The second piece of that is that if it involves public areas such as the school system, when the boil water advisory goes out, Department of Environmental Quality is to be notified. And that's so that they can notify the appropriate public entities that serve us. That would be the health department. And once DEQ notifies them, then they notify the school system and also notify them what policies and procedures to follow. So I had contacted DEQ myself and let them know that we had a boil water advisory. They then contacted the town and advised on what to do. They also advised them that anytime there was a loss of pressure, that boil water advisory was to go out and that they were to contact DEQ. On the second one, that did not happen. I contacted DEQ. They had not gotten any information that there was another subsequent boil water advisory, and our kids were in school. I was later informed that Newland Elementary, or the high school or middle school, was affected. I don't really question the middle school and high school so much, although I would love to see maps of that. I do question Newland Elementary. I'm basically across the road from Newland Elementary, and I was under a boil water advisory. While to our knowledge, no kids or the public was affected or got sick, the possibility of that happening is there, and it is the town's responsibility to ensure that we're safe, because we've got kids drinking the water, people coming to our town using the restaurants, and babies drinking the water. So I was not happy to learn from Department of Environmental Quality that a citizen was how they learned that there was another boil water advisory, and that the health department was not notified until around 1 p.m. that day. They then followed their procedures to notify the school system, and the school system said that the town said that Newland was not affected. That's great if that is in fact the case. I don't understand it, but there was a breakdown there, for sure, because DEQ should have been notified that morning. So I'm just here to voice my concern and to say that, like, whatever our policies and procedures are around boil water advisories or our water system, they've got to be looked at, because our water system is old and we've got to protect the people here.
Yeah, first of all, you're at almost 5 minutes, so going by what everybody wants, I'd have to shut you down.
And that's
I'm not-
fine.
no,
I've been
stop.
shut down before. I've spoke at a lot of county commissioners meetings.
Not my meeting. I'm not-
That's okay. You can shut me down. I can
Go ahead,
stop.
Gary.
The lady from DEQ contacted me after the first time,
Okay,
I sent her an email back, we heard nothing.
okay,
After the second time, she sent me another email informing me of the procedures that I would have thought she would have given me after I replied to her first email. But
okay,
everyone in town hall is new, so neither I, Mackenzie, Jessica, nobody knew procedures. So her email the first time, we got some information, but when she didn't respond to my email, then I guess you called the second time, and then she sends over these procedures, which I told her at the first one that everyone in town was new, we weren't sure of the procedures. And then when I didn't get an email back, okay, so we have the procedures, she's finally sent us the information we need, so hopefully going forward, we're not gonna mess this up.
But Gary, to be clear, at no point did the town remove a boil in place without whatever testing that you get from Carolina Water or whatever.
The first one may have been a couple hours early, I don't remember all the details there. As far as the middle school and the high school, they are on a separate water tank.
we're on a reservoir,
When we had to, well, they're on tank 3.
Okay,
When we had to drain the system, I shut the valve off at the bottom of the high school road to keep from draining that tank.
okay,
Banner Hill is on its own tank, and it only pumps water up. So at the time, until the water came back on, there wasn't any water going up the hill, so everyone up there was getting water out of their current tank.
okay.
So that's where the middle school and high school was not affected.
Was Newland Elementary affected any?
It was, I mean, it was in the system that's in town. But
Yeah, so I'm really truly, I just wanna see this town move forward. I'm truly willing, I mean, this 100% willing to volunteer and help come up, like, write a policy and procedure. I used to do that at the hospital when I worked for the hospital.
Right.
So like, if you guys don't have a current policy and procedure that spells out what to do when, we have a loss of pressure and a boil water advisory needs to go out, I'm happy,
Well,
truly happy to help
I
do
had
that.
talked to someone from the elementary school.
Yeah.
And they had asked me about the condition of the water. We had a lot of issues from basically the corner going out with bad water, or not bad water, but it was rusty water. It was murky water.
Sure.
The hydrants I drained on this side of town were clean. And I drained 2 hydrants right beside the elementary school, and they both were clean. So when I talked to that person at the elementary school, I informed them that we do have a boil water notice, but that I had basically drained 2 hydrants over here, and the water over here was clear. Most of our issues were from this end out.
And I think that, like, going forward, if that happened again, I think DEQ or anyone at the state would say, hey, Newland Elementary has got to have bottles brought in and to be washing hands with, something else, to protect everybody.
Right. Well, like I said, we have better procedures now that we didn't have before.
Does the planning board help write policies and procedures
We will
for
be.
that? Okay.
Yeah, we will be.
Yeah, that's new
Okay.
too.
Yeah,
And
so,
I'm
so I
happy
mean,
to-
we're just a newly implemented board, just starting in January, so we have to adapt and get our rules and regulations going before we can actually even make any decisions or implement any laws, restrictions, anything that you speak of. But yeah, that's
Okay.
part of it, and then we have talked about it, like, amongst us, so,
Okay.
yeah.
And
So if you would like to help us out with that, I would love
Yeah,
that.
I would be happy to volunteer. I'm actually interested in the planning board, but the water thing really, I've got a lot of information on it and I'm truly happy to help.
I would love
with
that.
Second Thursday.
Yeah.
Second Thursday?
Second Thursday.
Okay.
She also has the standards on why vaping's killing everybody, so. That's true, right?
Yes, I do prevention with high school and middle school students, so I do prevention of substance misuse. Yeah. Yeah, that's part of my public health. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to ball games.
Thank you.
And Gary, I'll get with
All right, anybody else have
y'all
public
Yeah.
comments?
to help.
Please, yeah, that'd be awesome, thank you.
Yes, sir.
This is addressed to that man right there. Someone was mentioning about how y'all never do anything. I saw him standing out in the rain with no raincoat, directing traffic, keeping the trucks going around the barriers, soaking wet, and, you know, what more can you ask of a town employee? That's all I can say. I mean, he's standing out there directing traffic and soaking wet. I wanted to give him a ride, but
They don't make raincoats that big.
No.
Not bad.
I'd have a special made.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Go ahead, Ms. Chrissy.
So on February the 8th, I sent a email into Ms. Tipton, our town clerk, requesting a formal request for the items that I'm going to note. And I'm not going to read this whole email out, but I just wanted to know if you guys actually saw it, because I've been waiting for a reply of some sort from any of you, and I've received nothing. So, dear Ms. Tipton, under the North Carolina Public Records Law, GS 132-1, I'm requesting an opportunity to inspect or obtain copies of public records that are in regards to any business conducted, conversations, and anything pertaining to the inner workings of the town of Newland by past and present town of Newland aldermen and past employees or contracted. There's more to this. This email is very lengthy. If you guys have not received that email, I have it printed off for you to read. But I would just appreciate you guys giving me a reason as to why you are not willing to give up transparency that I've been asking for, that all of us have been asking for, and why I haven't even received a reply from any of you.
Gerald, that's a law, they have to respond to that.
Would you guys like a printed off
We've got
copy?
we have to respond to it. You know, the one thing that we gotta keep is, as I understand your request is, public records include a whole lot of stuff, which would include potentially emails between council members, okay? But if the email went to one of our servers here, that would be one thing, but if it's between the two of them, we don't have custody of it.
Right.
And so, the law says as a custodian, we gotta turn over what we got. But those things, they're public records, but we don't got them.
Right.
And we're not under an obligation to go get them unless somebody took them and they shouldn't have. We're not obligated to. So I will say that, but if it was to, like somebody emailing a town employee and asking for something, or something that we have custody of, then we are absolutely obligated to do it. But we're not if we don't have custody.
On that note, I know that we need, so in here it states, within a timely manner. Okay, so this was the 8th of February that I requested this information. Now I know timely manner, that does not give, obviously, a particular time. I could have said, oh, you didn't give it to me in one day. I'm really asking you guys just to be transparent. That is all that I've wanted.
I don't know.
Christy, I'm talking.
Like, I thought you would get the emails.
Huh?
Now, that's not my job to see you my emails.
You're talking your emails and your communication.
Did you receive? Okay, so why is no one replied in a timely manner? You can reply yes or, ma'am, I'm talking. Come on, man. Okay, in a timely manner, you could at least reply to me and say, hey, I don't have to give you anything, or I'm giving you this. But you guys don't want to because there's something that's being hidden and I don't know what it is, and that is what I've been trying to figure out for over 1.5 years now. And nothing's happening. This is the excuse that you always give, oh, I don't have to do this. Well, then just reply you don't and give me a paper trail of that, please. Please.
The emails are on our server here. They can be given out. Anything of that nature can be given.
I reported you guys to email and thought you guys would say.
I thought you were gonna do it.
And no example, Christine, this email requesting the police chief to include Justin, you guys, to include me, to include the administrator, the court of government, that was between the four of y'all. She has no access to that. He didn't include yet, and that's what she's talking about. When you don't include, like
I
you
thought we
said,
could pull it off the server, that all the emails can be pulled.
I find that hard to believe. I think you're smarter than that, but okay, we'll go with the, okay, we'll go with that. But that's what he's saying, so like that email he sent about the police chief, the only people have is you guys, that's it.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
she doesn't
so-
have the ability to pull that off.
Okay, you don't.
Just so you know, we responded, we don't have that. So as the town, we responded, we don't have access to the records that are coming from your personal devices. So if you're conducting business, whether you're emailing with the chief to ask him something or whatever, we don't have access to that unless you include her every single time, which is what you're obligated to do. But that doesn't happen. So we took the request, I mean, they're looking for your personal devices, emails.
Not go-
Back and forth, one another.
Right, or if you're emailing staff, if you email staff, we can pull it, because we can call our IT people. But if you're emailing yourselves and you're not using the town of Newland email, then we don't have access to that.
Well, I mean, I emailed the chief, that's staff.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah, well,
you're welcome to get the IT to pull anything in my office.
And I didn't do it on purpose, honestly. I responded to Gary about some emails he sent, and I honestly thought I responded all until I was asked about it, and I realized that I hadn't responded to everybody. But it's to Gary, to Public Works.
And ironically, I'm glad you brought that up, Ms. Gill, because the system that you put Bill into and Gary into and the town into is this system where they have to, everything they do from, you know, $15 worth of toilet paper up to the $3,500 spreader for the truck, they have to send out emails. Gary had an appointment on Tuesday, he sent out an email, am I still okay to go have this spreader put on this truck? He contacted me because he's down help, asked my help to move the truck to Boone. I agreed, I got the next morning, we had 2 votes, Gary? We had 2 votes?
Yeah, for some reason, well, we had
Hold on.
3. I still haven't found where you sent it the first time. I don't know what happened to it.
But I did
Yeah.
send you what I had seen.
Yeah, I thought I had 3 when I asked you to take it. and
So
then-
we had to cancel the thing on Tuesday, moved it to Thursday, no, to Friday. I said, I'll take it on Thursday, get the votes. And by Thursday afternoon, he could not find this email that not disputing that you sent it, but he could not find it because there was other requests that he got it confused or whatever else. So I said to him, well, it's being put on, you need to call Gail. Call her direct. I sent you a text, I believe, and said, please get a hold of Gary. Because so my point is that we had a whole week of fumbles trying to get, agreement to put a salt spreader on the back of the truck. So I understand, that the board has, we've got to come up with a policy for Bill so he can run our town, and we're not, jumping through hoops, and I'm not driving back panicked that I'm gonna have to call a federal lawyer because we didn't get that last vote to put the spreader on, and I'm just got myself in trouble for dropping it off. Or I'm gonna have to pay for it because we didn't have a 3rd vote. And thank you for telling him that you said yes. So I bring that up because at what point are we gonna go back and revisit what Bill's policies are? What, Bill still doesn't know what he's doing. We still haven't addressed, Mr. Winslow's, complaint of what's going on over there. What are we doing over there at Mississippi Pickens? Are we gonna finish that project? We're gonna give Bill permission to finish it? Does he need to put out an RFP? Do we need to send up a backlight and say, this is what we're going? What are we doing, so we can clean that up?
I also have one more thing. I did an interview with you, and thank you for doing that so much for a page that I'm affiliated with, Avery Truly Unfiltered. I requested to do one with all aldermen. That includes all of you sitting, especially you, Mr. Johnson, since you kindly said did one with Avery Unfiltered. I feel like just for the transparency of our town and our county, that you should. That's on you, so
When did you ask me, Mr. A? I don't remember getting that.
I'm sure that you saw it on Facebook, and I made it very aware, because you've blocked me on all platforms, so I can't really get in touch with you otherwise. But I'm now cordially inviting you yet again to do an interview with me, and I would love to do one with you, just for the transparency of our county and our town, since you so kindly did one with another group. Goes for the rest of you as well.
I'll take that in consideration. I'll let you know.
Thank you, I appreciate that answer.
You're welcome.
Real quick, because we're getting ready to go into another month of trying to get answers through emails. And I appreciate some of us expeditiously answer emails, but it makes it difficult to move forward and go on to what Tiffany said. If we have a busted water line, what are we gonna do there? What's the procedure that Bill's allowed to do? I mean, does he just let the water run until he's able to get it out for bid? What does he do when Iron Mountain says they're too busy, or what does he do when he can't find anybody? He makes his phone calls like he did for every other project, and he whittles down. We no longer have Carl at our disposal. That's an open-ended question for anybody on this board. I don't know what I'm not saying to get somebody. I need somebody to jump in here because we need to tell Bill how to run this town.
If it's an emergency, you don't have to bid it. If the emergency's to the health or property, okay? And you don't have to bid that out. If waiting on bids exacerbates the emergency. So you're okay, I think you're okay there.
Don't think, we need to know, because we'll when it's done and afterwards, we'll look back and ask him for his license. Well, we didn't ask for a license because it was an emergency.
such thing as maybe doing an emergency contract with someone?
Yeah, if there was an emergency, you needed to get it done, I think you could enter into a contract.
I think we had a contract that would guarantee that they couldn't just shake us off.
But one, we don't have any contracts. We've got a solid agreement with Iron Mountain, and they're as responsive as you can be, given their size and their location. But the statutes allow for us to create a small works roster, where the amount of work is limited, it's focused. You can have, I know that when I was in Boone, we did one for architects and engineers for small work, but we can do it for many different things. That was something you guys could look at, set the parameters. I'm sure Gerald can look up the specific statute. Then you would just have a list of people that you would draw from, and we would just randomly start calling people and whoever says yes, we would hire them to do the work.
I'm just asking because with everything, all the back and forth we're doing about the current amount of work that was done, which a lot of work has been done, a lot of things have fit. We need to know, I need to know, because I'm gonna call Mr. Winslow tomorrow and tell him I asked Mr. Winslow about your complaint, and I have the same complaint. I use that same road to get my shop. It is potholed up. I called Bill 2 weeks ago and asked him why we couldn't get some gravel out there, and he said, look, that project's on pause until the board tells us what to do moving forward. So, maybe there's just not communication going on. I would like to know tonight what we're doing, how we're gonna handle it. And if we don't do it, then I'm gonna be out there tomorrow, and I ain't a licensed contractor, but I'm gonna be out tomorrow with my dump truck putting gravel on.
On the road, is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
we're on the muds right in front of Missy's place.
Well, it seems like nobody wants to work for you, because look at the
Look what
problem
happens.
you got.
Yeah, look what happens.
I mean, that's
You
the problem.
get nitpicked to death, correct. That is absolutely correct.
And who wants to work when you're not getting paid
Yep.
equivalent pay that you could go over here and work?
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Take your show somewhere else, exactly.
But that's my concern as being a citizen here. What if it does break in the middle of the night?
Oh, I'm,
Are all the board members gonna get out there and start digging and fixing it? Put
You
duct
mean-
tape on it or
yeah,
whatever?
it'll be me and Gary and Bill holding the flashlight.
I mean, it's ridiculous that you can't come up with a solution.
And I'm asking, what is
Yeah.
our solution? What are we gonna do? I mean, contracts, an emergency contract sounds great, but when Iron Mountain says, oh, we're sorry, we're putting in a whatever over in the town of Boone, and you can't get there.
Personally, I don't think we should have to manage or micromanage Bill. I believe that
Amen.
the board
Amen.
should be able to trust in him enough to be able to make those decisions. That being said, I do believe an emergency procedure needs to be in place so that we are able to conquer those issues when they arise.
How about if I make a suggestion? How about if we ask Bill to get several contractors, not just one, not just two, several contractors who agree to come to work for our town, and part of their agreement in the packet, do you have a license? If so, yes, can we have a copy of it? We need your W-9, we need your workers' comp, and general liability, we need all this in a file in our folder, and then when we have an emergency, Bill can pick up the phone and start calling down the line. He doesn't have to email us or y'all or whoever else, and start emailing down the line, or calling down the line. And the first group says they can be there to fix it, then come on, and then if y'all wanna put in a $15,000, $10,000, stopgap, do $10,000 worth of work, and let's put it out, or whatever. But I just need y'all to give him something, so that we're not getting sticker shock, and we're not making all these allegations and trying to make it out like, some illegal nefarious stuff is going on behind people's backs.
I like that idea. I say we let him conjure up a list and so that he can have contacts in case of emergency.
Phil,
Yes, sir.
thank you for coming, sir.
Hopefully do better.
We're working on
Hopefully do
it.
better.
We're working on
Good
it.
looking town.
Please come back.
Got to see.
He's like, nope, I'm not coming back.
So,
No, go ahead. You had something.
I agree with Keenan, and I don't mean to be a dead horse here, but I just have problems with the way all this has gone down. We've asked and asked and asked, and we're denied. So in my mind, how do I know that's not gonna happen again? Maybe on a bigger scale. I've heard from people in town that, you know, of course, have found out about Mr. Glatzel and the amount of money that was paid and had concerns. And Mr. Mayor spoke of, you know, Facebook, and a post was, I didn't see it, a post was shared with me from somebody in this room that blamed the board for Mr. Glatzel's work. And initially, I was so hurt. I just couldn't believe it, and I was mad. But I thought about it, and the post said that we didn't get control of the situation, that we let things drag out without getting things under control. And while at first I was really angry about that post, I realized she was right. I prayed about it, and I realized she was right. We didn't get control. We did let things go on way too long. So tonight I'm gonna make a motion that we fire Bill Bailey.
Wow, shocker, everything that you guys have been lying about for months.
Knew that was coming.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Why do you say we're lying?
Really?
You've been working this point for 8 months.
We've been asking you for months if y'all were gonna fire him, and y'all said, absolutely not.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Disgusting.
I think the two of y'all need to resign.
Excuse me, I've gotta go.
Christie and Jamie, and Gail's halfway. there.
Well, there you have it, folks. We called it.
This right here is what I said just a minute ago. Everyone knows it. Shame on
Lie,
you.
not lie.
You're not doing what's best for this town.
Thank you so
may think you
much.
are, but you're not. And this right here just proved it.
Exactly
How
right.
can that man go out and do his job
Called it.
when you're alternating against him? How can he do anything? I wouldn't want to work for y'all. I mean, why don't all y'all get out there and start digging those ditches tomorrow morning? I think you need to. Christie, you, and you.
The one thing I want to point out
I don't care.
is, well, Jeremy and Sandy both had the exact same issue that Bill's had.
Yep.
It's not something new, and,
I didn't think it was.
no, it's not something new, and it's a board issue, and I'm not gonna.
The only one that's got enough sense up there is this young man right here.
Dreamer, would you like to be on the board?
Hell no, not to clean up the mess y'all made.
Okay, well, that's interesting. Anybody else have any other, are we still in public, what are we in, public comments? Anybody else have any other public comments?
I can't believe it.
I can't either.
I can also say with some confidence that I'd be really impressed if we get another town administrator. So y'all think things are bad now?
When's the next election?
Y'all are employees, they keep running employees off and firing employees. Y'all are the problem, not the employees and not the people that have left. Y'all
Yep, now the
are
world
the
sees it. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so glad I did those FOIA requests and got all that dirt before this. Thank you for doing this tonight, because the world just saw you make a fucking fool of yourselves. Thank you.
All right,
I'm on to you now.
Public Works, Gary, would you like to step up?
I'll stay right here. We had, I've been babysitting the wastewater treatment plant for most of the month, through January and this month. I was under the understanding we had a medium gallon a day plant, and apparently we only have a 600,000 gallon a day plant. But either way, when we get excess rain, it needs to be babysat. So I've been down there opening up the other tank to keep up with the amount of water. We had 506,000 gallons go into the plant on January the 10th. We had another 190 the next day, and we've averaged over 100 almost every day with all the snow and the rain we've had and the water runoff. We had another 288 on January 26th. So So I've been busy down there the whole month. We need to look about something on the Riverwalk Tunnel, the side that people walk through. Over time, the sand has continued to build. I don't know who designed it or when it was put together, but when the road drains on Case and Barbecue side, drains down into the little ditch, it runs into a little pool over here that has no drain. So then the water just overflows and runs across the path. And then this time of the year it freezes. So that's another problem there. And then when the water gets up, all that sand lays through there. And I've tried to keep it cleaned out, but I need to get down there and do some more. Hopefully we'll have weather this week, I can do that. We had power issues last month. One was, I guess a wreck down on 194, what took out power all the way to Ingalls. The pumping station was out power, and well 2 was without power. And then we had that same thing again during one of the weather events. And then lastly, but I've been working with Tatiana from the COG trying to get our stormwater mapping. I was hoping to find something that, where we would see storm drain going into the sewer system, but we have yet to find that. We haven't found anything. But there's no reason when we get rain, we get 500,000 gallons at the wastewater treatment plant. So there's gotta be a problem somewhere. We just haven't run up on it. I know the AIA guys there's something they have that are gonna go through to try and find that. And lastly, something the board might wanna think about, I know nobody wants to hear this, but we charge $600 to do a water tap. We have $712 in materials. That don't include equipment, that don't include man hours, that don't include anything. That's $712.
Speaking of that, when y'all gonna put mine in? I paid last year. When y'all gonna get around to putting mine in? I paid last year to be fine.
Well, I guess if we get it raised up, then we'll.
Oh, no. You quoted me that price, big guy. I paid it.
Well, you know my current situation, so when I get some help, we'll see about getting new water tap.
Bring it back to here tomorrow, I'll help you.
We don't have a backup.
Well, I can run track of
So anyway, that was just something to think for future. 'Cause right now, we're putting more money and materials into a water tap than we're getting.
Okay, thank you, Gary.
That's all I have.
Finance officer.
Gary, what would you recommend we go to on the water tap?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that would be something that you'd have to look at. 2 people, 3 hours, equipment mobilization. I mean, honestly, you're looking at probably $1,000 minimum.
Okay, is that something you could kinda get a number for us and bring it back to us, please?
Okay. All right, I'll try and work something up.
Thank you.
Finance officer.
Gary, can you get water quality or something here to help you do the testing and temporarily until you can get some help? I know you told me the other day you'd spent so many hours doing all this stuff.
Well, I talked to Paul about getting me a quote for somebody to read the wells every day, but, I know he's working on it. I haven't got that yet.
Okay.
I'll talk to him again tomorrow and see.
Okay.
I don't know that that's really gonna be cost productive. I know, but it's an hour every morning, and I don't know that we really want to pay extra money for somebody else to do an hour. I mean, Monday morning's more because I have to do the water samples.
Right.
So, but yeah, I don't know if we want to pay for that. It would be nice on weekends, but I mean, I'm still on call, so, it's not a problem right now. But I'll let you know when I get the quote from him.
All right. Thank you.
What is the starting pay on the position at the town for the water?
Oh, it's a maintenance position.
Maintenance.
It has what water duties, and we'd have to get that for you.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get it for you. I think it's gonna be posted, but, finance officer.
You've got my report in front of you guys. There's all of the accounts and all of the amounts. If you've got questions about it, you can come see me. Probably need to do it tomorrow. The biannual LGC 203 report is done biannually. That's the description of it. The annual TR2 report was submitted That's done annually. Strong Pay, that's our new payroll system. If you saw a small deposit done, 2-3 cents, that's what it was. And I fulfilled my, several public record requests, and I'm about over that as well. So, that's all I got. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you.
Please report.
So, the month of January, we had 3 arrests, 1 domestic, 1 DWI, 1 break-in and entering, and larceny. The break-in and entering, we recovered all stolen property, been given back to the property owners. We're still working on towards, being able to actually charge the person that took the property to begin with. Isaac, Rupert, and Stockton, they've all finished their radar and LiDAR training. Been working on the speeding issue with them. And Officer Isaacs will be attending training next week, so we can get a new system to upgrade our rec reporting abilities. So if anybody needs a rec report, they can go online.
Looks like it's been a busy month, Michael. 648. Thank you.
Under the administrative report, Gerald, just out of curiosity, because people were asking me, was the process in firing Bill handled the correct way? Or we exposed ourselves?
I guess we will see.
Going by what you advised us, I don't feel like it was handled the correct way.
There is an exception if there's something that's so bad that you don't have to go through everything, okay? And that's the question.
So let's hope he did something so bad that we didn't have to go through the process.
That's, that's kind of the out, and they don't give you a black line rule about what that is.
Will we ever find out what that thing he did so bad is, or is that a secret?
Well, I think the thing is, from what I'm hearing from the board, is that $300,000 was spent and the board wasn't consulted about it, and they weren't getting their information. I think that's, am I being accurate, Ms. Campbell?
You are for me, Gerald.
Yeah. I think that's the question, is how much is too much? And does it rise to the level of being, that they can take immediate action?
Is that criminally?
I don't think so.
They're gonna charge him?
I don't think so.
Oh, I think, there's nothing criminal here.
No.
It's just egos were hurt and things, because it's the sticker shock and the,
It's not about ego, it's about not knowing. No, it's not.
everybody in this town saw what was going on. Does anybody in this town not see all the work that's going on, yes or no?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty obvious when you've got this much work going on. It started off, we didn't like Carl. You apparently had a good relationship with Carl, so I don't understand how that happened. And then moved to, Carl's not allowed to work anymore, and then let's go even back to the reason Carl was hired, because Jamie Johnson and myself went in and demanded that Shoemaker Park get cleaned up. And contrary to what Jamie says now, it wasn't a weed eater cleanup, it was, I want it cleaned up, I want trees removed, I want this stuff done, and Bill, like Jeremy and Sandy, went to doing their job, and
I don't want to speak out of turn.
Go ahead, you're out of town.
I wish that maybe, I guess Gary left, but, my recollection is Sandy was run off by you and Jamie.
Okay, just like I don't recall it like that. I do recall some issues with Sandy, I don't have a problem saying that, but yes, me and Jamie ran James off together. I know that Jamie's changed that tune, but we're absolutely ones that went to Bill and said, we really think the man needs to go into retirement. I told James, I don't have a problem. I'm not at all afraid of saying what I thought. I can go back and revisit exactly some of the problems we're having with Sandy. But Sandy also had the same problems with this board that Jeremy had, that Bill had, and I don't know what we've got to do, which I'm not gonna worry about, because I know we're not gonna have a town administrator until at least November 25.
Well, it seems pretty sad that you've gotten this far now.
Oh, we've got a ton of work done.
I know, you have got a lot of done.
And it's been nothing but.
But the thing
pushback and
is
fighting.
that's the reason people have to come in here to video everybody, because nobody can remember from 1 minute to the next what you said and what you hadn't said.
And I've got to sit on the side of the road and watch the video to go and get the answer, like
Exactly.
the 811 thing, or the,
Exactly.
Ms. Gale told me that work didn't have to be accomplished. I was told by other town members, that other board members.
That's sad.
And this right here was work completed, it was a lot of money, but guess what, it costs money to do this. Look at that first picture, look at all the materials sitting up there, look at the pipes that were pulled out, that's not a little bit of work.
Well, you've got the money now to do it, you just don't have nobody to do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask a
Yes, sir,
question?
go ahead.
I might be ignorant about the workings of local government, but is there any review process when you're ready to fire somebody? I mean, a man comes in here with a job and he gets fired? Does
Well,
anybody say?
and that's what I was asking, Gerald had told the board that you can't fire a town administrator without doing certain things, and I just wanted to make sure, because I didn't feel like we did those certain things, and I know people are gonna ask me that like you're asking, that's why I asked out loud. Now, I know the board will go behind my back, so the mayor's just trying to, throw fuel on the fire. No, I need to know. I know what our attorney said, you gotta do these things to fire this man. We ain't done them, folks.
Well, if they go behind your back, then shame on them.
The way our charter works, to answer your question, the attorney, the administrator works at the pleasure of the board.
I got that part. So you can just say, get out.
Jamie, that's actually not
Yeah.
correct.
That's what
The
Jamie does
reason
right there.
being is because we have a town administrator instead of a town manager. The town manager works at the pleasure of the board, town administrators are different.
Exactly. It's two
Animal
different
altogether.
things.
And so they're subject to you going by procedures. But there is an exception to going through every step, is if it's egregious enough that you can shortstop it. Now, that's the question that I suspect some court's gonna answer for us. Okay, that's.
Well, and if I've done something wrong, I wanna be told, I'm not ashamed.
Yeah, Ms.
Um,
Gill, you did something wrong.
So I thought he served at the pleasure of the board. We never signed a contract with him.
That gentleman told you in a couple meetings that there's a process that we have to
Well, I
go
know he
through,
did.
and you actually said, I wanna start that process. You said it. And I actually voiced to employees asking me if Bill's gonna get fired, I said, well, there's a process, and we kinda started, but we kinda haven't, there's several things that have to happen, it's gonna take
Should
some
there not
time.
have been a contract with Bill? If he
There
would.
can be, and there was the informal thing is, there were two things. One is the regular policy, and then there was that. I forget how that was generated.
He's gonna eat us alive.
If he has a GoFundMe page, I'm gonna be the first one to donate to it.
You wanna know why? Because Mr. Albert Einstein, lawyer sitting over here, is gonna make sure we're gonna get eaten alive, and I think he's only a portion of it. I mean, the man's been writing down notes, making me nervous as a rate cat, and I ain't got nothing to do with this. So, we messed up when we posted stuff on the internet, that affected a business owner, we're gonna pay the piper on that. We messed up when we fired Bill tonight, and I keep saying we won't have one until November 25, because I'll sit right here in this chair and make sure whoever applies for this position understands what this town board does to
They run them off.
run them off. When I first came here, I started deciding I wanted to run for mayor, I watched you guys were attacking poor Valerie, and I get Valerie has some deficiencies, but over Target.
I wasn't on.
I know, Ms. Gill, you weren't, and neither were you, Ken, and I'm glad you brought that up, okay, because I have made it very clear what my opinion is of certain board members. Now my problem is, all this time that I've spent trying to deflect this, trying to get you the answers, and trying to spin back what everybody kept saying out there in town that were not truths, part truths, like, I know the board members have said that Missy said that Bill and Gary said we would replace her entire driveway. I asked her that. She said, I don't know why people are saying that. That never was what she said. A board member sitting up here tonight took a little bit of that and does what that person does and spun it off. And that's what y'all do, and now, I'm in fear we're gonna start losing other employees, and then after we start losing other employees, who's gonna be up here, who's gonna be up here taking care of this stuff, y'all? Who's gonna manage the money for the
Jerry,
grant?
how can I let Bill continue on
You tell him, Bill, tell us exactly what's going on.
without a guarantee that he's not gonna spend a whole bunch more money?
But Gail, you tell him that. Don't do this until we talk about it. But another thing, Gail, this stuff had to be done. This costs money. That's why I posted the pictures. That's why I'm spending my money to post these pictures. So y'all will see you have sticker shock. Yes, it's a lot of money, but but there's a lot of work, and it had to be done. We've got to do things to make our town better.
How hard would it have been to come to us and just let us know? You know,
Jamie, when he stood up here and he said we spent nearly $100,000 on Shoemaker Park and got a little bit more to do, or
we're over budget.
okay, but
It's our job to follow the budget.
so are you trying to say something illegal or nefarious has been done in all this?
No one is saying something illegal.
So you ran a man off because you feel like something.
I ran a man, Derek. I think you're talking about the whole board vote, the majority of the board.
You, Gil, and
But-
Christie ran him off.
But anyway, here's what I'm gonna suggest. Just so it proves everybody innocent, okay? I'm gonna suggest that us as a board go with an outside audit. We have one come in. We have that right. We can bring an outside auditor in, they get all the records, we get their report, see everything was done correct.
Perfectly fine with me, and we're gonna need to, because I can guarantee you the attorney's gonna want it, because y'all gonna have to find a reason why y'all just fired this man. I'm telling you. And Ms. Gale has had a panic sticker shock because there's all this money. $150,000 of this money was spent on Shoemaker Park. We spent $285,000 on Iron Mountain for 7 months previous to us hiring Carl. $285,000. That's
7 months, 14.
okay, 14 months, okay, but it's $285,000.
That was in the budget, Derek. That's what you understand, it was in the
Jamie,
budget.
you're wrong, the town knows you're wrong,
Okay.
and you put us back again to where we were at when I first came in as mayor. Y'all were attacking that town manager, he had all the accreditation, he had everything he needed. Y'all can laugh all you want, the people see it. Now, I get that you go out there and find other people on one Facebook page, whatever else, but what I'm telling you is when you go through all these invoices, and when an outside auditor goes through this, they're gonna see a lot of work was accomplished. The people see a lot of work was accomplished. Miss Algie Sturgill, Glenn Johnson, Mr. Winslow said, yes, it's a mess. I appreciate what y'all did, but I need to get it finished. And y'all haven't addressed that. Nobody's even answered that. Are we going to now that we don't have a town administrator? Which one of you guys are going to call whoever's going to be the person to hire somebody to get it cleaned up? Because be real frank with you, up until you fired Bill, I was more than willing to go out there and run the backhoe myself and deliver gravel myself. But I gotta be honest with you, I've spent a lot of time and effort and sent my guys up here to do a lot of things that I didn't have to, and I was willing to do it because I'm trying to move this town forward, and all y'all wanna do is take us back. So I want to know right now what the plan is, because I'm telling you, we're gonna lose more employees, which is gonna stress us out. And why? Because somebody on Facebook said that the board is responsible. Okay, yes, the board's responsible. Why didn't the board just look at them and say, we got work accomplished? I know you don't see it because it's underground, but we got work accomplished. That's all you had to say.
Derek, I think the first thing that needs to be done,
Yeah.
every one of y'all up there needs to delete y'all's Facebooks.
Oh, 100% agree.
Every one of
100% agree.
I don't think none of y'all need to be commenting on Facebook. That is so unprofessional and so childish.
Thank you. I totally agree with the best
I
thing
think
that I
that
did
should be
with
a
it.
policy whenever you
The
become board.
person that made that comment, I'm sure would 100% agree with everything you say.
That I'm a crook?
No,
What?
that,
What post you talking about now? Because I'm not on
you
Facebook.
were talking about the post where I was, someone shared with me.
If you're talking about Baxter Yates, you know Baxter Yates came in and got a
It's
physical?
not Baxter
Okay.
Yates.
It's fascinating, the two of y'all are such buddy-buddy with Mr. Yates. When he came in and almost got into a physical confrontation, I think that, but you like everything he says, and one of y'all are constantly amening. Did the police department or somebody, did we not? Yes, we had to escort the man out of the, no, wait a minute. You are supporting and going back and forth with a man who had to be escorted out of the town hall because he almost got physical with our employees over him not wanting to pay his water bill. And I have a problem with anybody that supports anything that a person says that would attack any of our town employees. We are a family. We are a dysfunctional as hell family. We are a family, and we should
Getting less
protect.
and less.
Yes. Yes.
It wasn't Baxter, it was someone else that I'm sure would support most of, if not all, that you do. But she blamed the board, and that broke my heart.
Okay, but Ms. Gill, the town employees read, we have two town employees right here and right here that read the same kind of fodder on Facebook. It said something like, Jessica, Mackenzie, we read over the weekend, somebody said, I think that they need to fire the town finance officer and the town clerk, because they're the ones that wrote the checks and signed them. Is that not correct? And it got you upset over the weekend?
I did.
Feel free to say yes, I understand.
Yes, no,
They're
I
not coming after you. Now, that's the other problem. Everybody thinks that they're next. because that's what this board does. But those two employees, because they read that, and I pointed out to her, she knows this, she's a very intelligent person, so is she. They know that that's not how this works, that's an ignorant statement, and I'm not saying whoever said what is ignorant, I'm saying it's an ignorant statement to think that you're gonna fire those two for doing their jobs, for doing what they were told to do, have a good day. They are mechanisms in a machine, and that is all they are. And I hate that she's spending time this weekend, or she's spending time, upset over something like that, okay? So my point is if somebody on Facebook says yes, you're darn tootin' it's the board thing, but it's also your ability to say, we are getting work done. We are having to spend money to get work done.
That person knows that 100, it was Teresa Fox.
Okay.
So she knows what's
Okay.
being done.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't wanna have to call anybody out, but that's who made that comment.
And that's perfectly fine. I'd like to see the whole context of it now that you say it like that, like Alderman Johnson said, put out there something that I said about
I
Jesus
don't
on cell block B. If he put the whole thing out, then I think everybody would see. And I was, I unfortunately have to hear, I'm off Facebook, but I do have to hear about it.
Facebook, you know a lot.
Yes, because when people are saying stuff that aren't true, I have to chase it down somehow.
Not true.
It is not true what you guys were saying about 811. You accused Gary of not calling 811. You, Jamie Johnson, accused Gary of not calling 811. Yes. Yes.
Nobody called it.
Yeah.
Can y'all not do this in a private
Yeah.
session?
Okay.
Don't waste the town's time.
I would,
Don't-
I'll make a motion if anything.
Adjourn? I just asked what we're gonna do about Old Public.
Oh,
We
I'm
have-
sorry.
We have to do something like that. You fired the town administrator, so now what's the mechanism to hire somebody so who here does that? Jessica, is she next man on totem pole? Or is it the town clerk? Because Mackenzie will make it really clear that she doesn't wanna have anything to do with it, right? You don't wanna be hiring and firing contractors, right? Or having to make sure they have license or whatever else, or making sure we're doing it the proper way. And for God's sakes, if Bill Bailey can't do it with all his years and years, the man worked for 5 years at Town of Boone and couldn't make it in Newland for 2 years.
But can we talk about like business owners? Nathan and I came here, we lived here 8 years. We have invested blood, sweat, and tears. We have nothing but water problems. They are not all the Shady Lawns problems. We have asked and asked and asked. You can find a unicorn before you can find a frickin' plumber. Okay? We have 10 people who are counting on us. Now there's no one. There is no one who's going to be able to help us when something's going to go wrong. And I promise you it will. And you know what? You're taking money out of my pocket, out of my husband's pocket, out of our employees' pocket. We've got bills to pay. People put all sorts of crap around us. Do you realize what you people did? You put my husband, he had to close every bank account, everything, and I am angry. And I'm sorry I'm angry, but you people are hurting us. We didn't hurt, we don't have, all we want to do is have water pipes. They're 132 years old. You said it, Jamie. You said it. Okay, we have gone here and we are trying our best, but we have to fight over stupid things like 132-year-old water pipes. Now you said it, it's on the record. If they're 132 years old, there's gotta be a contractor. You're a contractor. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't think pipes that are 132 years old or the infrastructure, I don't care who did it. I want to make a living. My husband, my employees, 2 years, that's set for 2 years. It is a business. It is full almost every weekend. And so you're saying we don't matter, we don't get to vote, you get to make decisions that affect and impact my family and the people who work with us who are amazing.
And the sad part is, I know for a fact that if because it wasn't an emergency, if they would have come to the board, there's no doubt we would have had a 4-to-1 vote to help Shady Lawn get their sewage and septic back up and going, because guess what? We had to be there anyhow.
Okay, but also too, do people not understand water problems? Every time it goes on and off, that causes other problems. Do you want to know all the money we spent? We used a local contractor. We asked him to come back because it was working, it wasn't installed right. We're not suing anybody. We're not even saying who it is. And I'm sorry.
Don't apologize, Suzanne, you got every right.
I am angry and I'm tired of my husband working. I'm tired of being talked about on Facebook when we did nothing wrong but provide jobs. Revenue. We are probably one of the biggest water users in this. Nobody was using water. It was turned off. You have made it practically impossible for us to operate a business. Okay? You know, contrary to popular belief, we're not independently wealthy. And if we don't have a town administrator, what are we going to do when there is sewage and we were down for 2 weeks?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no one wants to answer that and y'all want to adjourn? No! You get up here, you work, you make a decision. Because my kid has to eat. Many of you know I have 2 ill children. Guess what? Insurance doesn't pay for half the stuff they need.
She's got a question.
What are you going to do? When are you going to fix the water pipes? And I'm sorry, I don't lose my temper, but I am sick and tired of there's no solution. If you're going to fire somebody, and everybody knows, people have been talking about it for at least 3 meetings, then why don't we have a plan? Because we have a town administrator. That's your job. If you're going to fire somebody, fine. But there's nobody to do it. What if other people, I've heard other people said if Bill goes, they're going. What are we going to do when they're not there? And no offense, but our maids probably make more money than some of the people do. Because you have to pay people.
All right, Suzanne, hold on. She's asking the question that I'm asking.
What are you gonna do?
What are we doing?
Where's Gary? He went home, he was done.
I almost imagine, Gary, what is our plan?
I think you need to hire Bill back.
Yeah, I do too.
I think that is very wrong with what has happened here. We all have businesses, we all have, families, and what's happening in our town, and I've been in y'all's position, it is hard. Being on the board is hard. You have to make a lot of decisions you don't like to make. But I see my investment that I have worked very hard, just like you have worked hard for your home and your businesses, and I see the value going down the tubes.
Donetta, could I ask you, you say hire Bill back? Okay.
I really think
If we were to hire Bill back, or if Gerald was to say that we've done this incorrectly, are you going to not scream and yell and accuse us of micromanaging when we ask to have limits on what he can do? Because I'm gonna need that for a while. Because I don't trust
But I
him.
think you need to give him a chance to, and,
I'm giving him chances.
and kind of, the people here in this town really need to know, and I really think that firing him is just gonna create so many problems that, he's very smart and he knows how to get things done. And this is, when I was on the board, we had, town, our maintenance, we had several employees, and I'm not saying we didn't have problems with people, we did, but when we had burst pipes, we had the town employees that could fix it. And that's what's happened, everybody has been fired or quit or whatnot. You don't have that, and you have to go out and get emergency, people to fix this, that's gonna cost you money. So I think that you really might want to reconsider with Bill and give him a chance, and, because I think you're just gonna have a lot more problems than you bargained for.
I gave him chance after chance after chance to provide the information that we were asking for. I sat in his office, asked him face to face, oh, I'll get it to you, oh, I'll email it to you, and it never came.
I understand that, But
And I don't
also,
trust Bill, so if we hire him back, I don't trust him. And it's a fault of mine, but if you break my trust, you gonna work hard to get it back. And I'm gonna want some constraints on him, as far as being able to just freely go out and spend money.
well,
And I don't know
You
if
know.
some of the people are gonna be okay with that. Are you, Nancy?
Am I okay with,
Would you be okay if we decided as a board for Bill to come back? And not me, but we said, okay, you can only spend this amount of money without getting board approval.
I think you have to give them some guidelines. I mean,
That's what we've been saying.
you know, you have
Yeah.
to say,
Why we had
you know, you
special
can write a check for, sign a check for
We had a special meeting a couple weeks ago, and
$500.
we never made that determination.
Right.
We left
Because
the
we had
y'all
a
don't make
screamer
decisions.
sitting in here screaming at us.
We
We
could,
couldn't
we
make
could,
that.
I said at the end of it, where are we at? Bill, do you understand where we're at? Okay, don't write anything more than $25, because they're trying to, that's what I said at the very end of that meeting.
We can't have a workshop I know that the public citizens have a right to be here during those things. But I think and please correct me if I'm wrong, they're here to observe.
But Gail, apparently you don't have to read a room. These people that are showing up in this room are the people that actually are caring and actually are keeping up with what is going on.
They
These,
don't act like
but they're simply saying that Bill, they feel like Bill's,
Really?
there's a certain person
just go,
in here,
Nathan,
there's not a
go.
person here that doesn't think that Bill's doing a good job. They're mad at you for our behavior. Dreama showed up because she's heard about it, she's seen it, she's lived here, and you heard what she said. Okay, I get that you don't trust Bill, or I get that Bill didn't produce the information right when you absolutely needed it, and that's right.
4 months.
It's not, Chris, you keep saying 4 months.
It was back to November.
There were,
I wasn't here in November, or December.
I know that Jessica stands up here and tells us things. I know that there's things that, I mean, I
They
find
tried
it.
to have that special meeting and you said they couldn't.
Yeah,
And
that's
we
right.
wanted
That was the
information.
November was
Yeah.
what it, in December, I was told it did.
Okay, I suggest, I didn't think that it would be plausible, and if I was Bill, I would not come back, I would see the pants off, and I'll testify in the hearing, but I suggest the board consider hiring Bill Bailey back. And then, after you hire Bill Bailey back, I suggest you say, don't spend more than $25 unless you need some more toilet papers. Put some daggone parameters on it and let the man go doing his job. Because you can't sit here and tell me you don't trust the fact that he knows what he's doing. The man knows more about town business. Gerald, would you agree with that statement? That he knows more than, I think, anybody that we've ever had here.
Okay, and I'm not gonna argue the point that he don't know, Mr. Mayor, but if you know, you just don't go over and spend over $320,000 without letting the board know, because we have to answer to the people.
Okay, it keeps growing. Now it's gone from 300, 320, 140, 550, that was on one location. Okay?
The total amount, and then we find out tonight, Derek, that we've already brokered another deal.
Come here. Let Kingman speak.
I wanna hear what he's got to say.
You just said that we are here for the people.
Yes.
I've heard time in and time again that all the people that do come to these meetings like and love and respect Bill. I think that the board made a huge mistake tonight.
Okay.
And I'd like to, on record, make a motion to rehire Bill.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second it. Can I make a?
Sure, no, Ms. Gill, if you haven't learned that I'm all about, discourse, go right ahead.
I would second that, but we've got to
Well, no,
make.
that's all we've been asking for.
And without people sitting out there yelling.
I will make them be quiet. Sit down, Nathan.
There should be a code of decorum anyway.
And Ms. Gill, I think you might want to amend that motion to say, if you say second it or ask to amend it to say that there be a limit of X number of dollars on what he can do.
Or a policy put in place.
Yeah, or a golf policy put in place.
That's an awful lot.
Just say, for right now, say $15,000 or something,
When we
15.
had that special meeting, that workshop,
I can't hear you.
and again, I'm still learning. I didn't realize the public was gonna be here. And then I realized, well, they have that right. but all that back and forth and the yelling and,
But nothing got done, nothing was
No, it
accomplished.
didn't.
Nothing ever gets
Which is
done.
why I continue to ask, what are we doing here?
Nothing ever gets done because it's complete chaos.
One thing I can say, if you had, and this is kind of what I see, when you don't have the employees, and especially in the maintenance department, you're down to one person, you have an emergency, you have to make decisions sometimes to get this problem straightened up, like the water at Christmas time. You have to make, a quick decision. And if we'd had the proper amount of people here working, we may not have had to spend this kind of money to get these things done. Because when I was on the board, unless it was something major, we had the employees, they'd get out, if they had to work all night long to get the water fixed down in the ditch, they'd be down there working. So what I think is, you need to have proper people in here to do the job, or you're gonna end up spending
With this right here.
way too much money.
You're gonna end up with road signs fixing holes in the stuff.
Exactly.
That's
And I
exactly
think
right.
I spoke with Gary and Bill, but especially Gary after the last meeting out here when we were here. And I told, figure out what you need, who you need, get the pay a little bit better to get more qualified people.
Yeah, because you can work at Bojangles, they pay $19 an hour
Good Lord.
for work.
Really?
Okay, I have a second on the motion to rehire Bill.
Ms. Donnell, can I ask you something?
Sure.
And nothing going against anything right now, anybody's saying or whatever, but you sat here for many years.
We sat here many years and it's a hard job, Jamie.
Yes, and I do understand that. Now, you never had an administrator, did you, that refused you information,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have.
they probably did.
and then that went over budget, that never come for budget amendment?
We have.
You did? And what did you do with that administrator?
We fired her.
Thank you. I'm
We
done.
do.
What did she do?
Yeah.
She's due.
And go.
Yeah.
Yeah, she soon
And
goes.
Jamie, I don't, looking back, I don't know if I made the right decision, that's what I'm saying. I may not have made the right decision at that time.
Yeah.
And,
Well, hindsight's 20/20.
and it is, it's a hard decision. Your job is very hard. And people didn't realize, until you've been in that seat, how hard it is and what you have to go through.
There's no one sitting on this board that can sit here and tell me or this room that something illegal has transpired, that we don't have a lot of work completed, actual work completed, materials in the ground, and we haven't moved this thing forward, okay? There's no one up here can say that, and that's what they're gonna have to say in a court of law if Mr. Einstein over here takes it to that.
Yeah.
Okay? I have a second on the table. Do all those in favor, please say aye. And I'm being nothing but polite.
Are we gonna get our limits?
You're the board, just tell the man, he's been asking for policy, he's refusing to, he told me 2 weeks ago, I'm not fixing Missy Pittman's road until I'm told by the board.
If you can amend the motion and put an amount in there, you can do that right now.
Why don't you ask the man if he wants to come back first?
It's bad to fire somebody when you don't have something in place to take his place. That's not very
It's
good.
not a backup plan, is it?
Not a
Now,
backup
it's also
plan at
bad
all.
to use Facebook and emotions as reasons to fire somebody. That's
They've been
the
wanting to
problem.
fire him for
I
months
know,
though.
trust me, I know, I've been watching it and we've all been preparing for it, I just think it would happen tonight, because I was convinced that we were gonna follow the process that our fine attorney that doesn't believe a chicken is a fowl told us to do. Ms. Gail, would you like to amend your, would you like to amend your motion to see if Bill will come back, but if he comes back, he has to go by a certain policy that you guys can put in place, and I will commit to you, that we'll have a workshop, and I will ensure that nobody interjects, that you board members can have free reign and say what
If
you
you
want to say.
get work done, Derek, if that's going on, I can't.
Okay, and I just said, I'll commit to you that I'll make sure that the gallery is quiet.
So I will admit that I will say that I would, second the motion to bring Bill back with limitations, that we would, a policy. And that we would work on.
And let's put a time that it'll be implemented within 2 weeks of when he comes back. Let's put it- yeah, or whenever you want to, but number one, he comes back, but y'all need to get a meeting, and it really, it won't be that tough if there's back and forth. I agree, I think you're absolutely right. Sure.
63 days. Is that how many it is?
60 days on the way.
Okay.
Retirement. Then your kids will figure out that you're, you don't have to do everything for them.
Sir, what is your actual name? And I'm sorry, we'll call you Mr. Einstein.
That's fine if you call me Mr. Lynn.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
I'm not usually accused of having.
Right,
that
right,
high handle.
right.
I'm Stan Percival, I'm an attorney in Benton.
Okay, if you don't mind, if you go and speak with Mr. Bailey and ask him if there's any possibility that he would entertain, or maybe I should since I'm the mayor, so I think I'll do that. We're going.
I mean, I'll be glad to do that and step out, but, I mean, I'm not sure he's still here.
He's gone.
Yeah.
I can step out in the hallway and see if I can contact him.
If you don't mind.
Hi. Well, I lost it. Did you see me? I'm gonna be the crazy woman on Facebook for the rest of my life. No, I totally lost it. But now they're doing her. They're having his attorney go and speak. No. That's exactly. Okay.
Jamie, everybody's blaming you. Everybody's blaming you. Really, Jamie? When I came in, you guys were attacking?
Really?
Yeah, thank you, Dreamer. You're trying to say that I'm the problem? When I-
No,
Are you're, Jamie, when I came in here, you were attacking Valerie, you were attacking Jeremy, you were attacking Colby, you were attacking, the only person you attack is the chief. And there's nothing to attack, because he is above reproach. So, you're gonna sit here, which I get that that's what you're saying out of town, that's what you have to say out of town, because it's got, you've got, but Jamie.
You know, I'll give you.
Okay, Jamie, that's perfectly fine.
I would too,
I would too.
because I would say a lot of you wouldn't be sitting.
It's not about ego for me.
It's not about ego.
It is 100%
It is
about ego. You
ego.
don't like Gary
It
because
is too.
of the whole, job position thing. That's why you don't like Gary. That's a fact, Jamie. You turned on Gary because of that. That's
Just
not,
like, just like you said in your little interview on Facebook, we had a difference of the ways.
we did.
You know what the difference of the ways was? Jamie got a better job that paid more money in Johnson City.
Okay.
And he worked the notice, did he not?
This right here is
Yeah,
what he
exactly.
was. Jamie, we're part of it too. Do not sit here and act like we're not.
Exactly.
All of them are. He
All
said,
of us.
this young man up here is the only one.
Yeah.
It's got any sense.
Amen. Amen. I don't even know you, but I really appreciate you.
And you know, Miss Hayes, I wasn't gonna bring this up, but I'm going to now.
You go right ahead.
Okay. You know how many citizens we get pictures and texts from? Right here in my folder. Right here. I've got pictures of alcoholic beverage sitting right in there during work time.
Now, I'm gonna preface this. The young man you were so impressed with was at this Christmas party, and I'll show you the pictures, okay? And this came from an employee that resigned.
I can open my letter.
Okay, show them to her. And you tell me if that looks like a Christmas party table. Now, he was there. He never saw these bottles. I was there at the end of it. I never saw these
Now, hold
bottles.
on. Earlier we said it was sparkling ale, but we didn't partake.
Oh my God, it's not illegal to drink.
Well,
He did it during working hours, Nancy.
He wasn't an employee.
No, the point is this was a Christmas party for the employees, and he is alleging that they brought, alcohol to the Christmas party that Keenan participated in. I showed up at the very end of it, okay? And the picture he's trying to show us, the table's clean. Okay, when I was there was food everywhere. So my point is did this former employee who's not happy with us stage this picture? That's what I'm
Could
trying.
have. How old are you, Keaton?
27 years old.
You're awful smart.
He's smart though, he's got good
Because
intuition.
Christmas party, how many Christmas parties in every county? The chief got probably a pint of moonshine sitting on the table.
Yeah, exactly.
But during working business hours in a municipality,
No.
Was it ever to that?
It was a Christmas party. Was it at the end of the day, was it at the beginning of the
Well,
day?
not during business hours.
okay, that's during business hours.
But I mean, if it's, like, if it's after business hours.
What'd you get
If you
for
go
Bill?
to a restaurant, sure, but,
I mean,
if they're saying that it happened here, that's not.
He's not responding to my.
Well, he has left the building, and I've called him and left a voicemail. There's no response, speaking of, the service could be spotty, I don't know.
I bet it's not spotty.
It depends where
He
he
lives
is.
up on Limble. He goes
We
through
don't
Limble.
want to talk.
And my service is.
He's got a small. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I got a question for you. If, for whatever reason, this board were to vote to bring you back, put some parameters around it, would you entertain coming back? Okay. So I'm gonna move forward with that vote, and then you can tell me what kind of dance you're gonna do around that, is that what I'm hearing? I know, yeah. Okay, all right, thank you, Bill.
I would like him to come back.
You know, there's a lot of things you would like that you don't get, same with me. Can we get Christian, cause I mean, no offense, everybody.
What did he say?
He said he would absolutely entertain it, but please tell him exactly what y'all want from him. I mean, exactly everything we've been saying.
Well, I would, if he will come back, soon, I mean, I'm available any day, after 4:30, to come and sit down and meet and come up, I mean, with Bill, you know, he needs to voice too. What we
Absolutely.
are, will, you know,
That's why I wish you would come back, where we could go back to closed session. and
We're not
just-
going back to closed session. The people need to know what we're saying, what
Yeah,
we're doing.
I
Jamie.
agree.
I'm not playing these little games, because then what you do is you try and hamstring me and say, I can't say something that we said inside of closed session, but you go out and say whatever you want about closed session. So we're not doing closed session.
You know, you make a lot of accusations.
The difference between me and everyone else is I can go and get the evidence.
Let's see it, bro.
No, I've already dealt with it with Ms. Gail, and I've already dealt with Christie. And they handled it the way I thought they would. So I don't have to bring them in.
so I think if we, you know, Bill comes back and we have that meeting, I mean, I want citizens here, because they need to know
Oh, but I'll make sure the citizens stay
what,
quiet, so
what is said and what we know, you know, what we're doing, not hearing it from someplace else.
we still alive when we do.
Yeah.
My friends control tapping me out.
Who is?
Get a kick out of it.
Were you able to?
I I spoke to him, he said that he would entertain it, but he wants some parameters, so I'm gonna try and get our fine attorney and our alderman in here, we're gonna see what's gonna happen between these two on the vote, and we're gonna move on with our life.
Will you have Dave Calvert call him tomorrow?
Dave Calvert sent a text, ironically, and she read the text that yes, he
Oh.
would take it, and then she said, I don't wanna talk to Dave, because apparently she doesn't trust my texting machine here.
Okay.
And I don't know what Dave said, but yes, Dave said he would love it. So I'm gonna have him call these two and play their little game. Let me find out. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that, yeah.
I spoke with Bill, Bill said he would entertain, he would want, what we've all asked, is just parameters and clear guidance but he would entertain it, so I have a motion, I have a second, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so, I apologize, when you said your name, my blood pressure's through the roof, what was your name?
Sam Virgil.
Virgil, that's it, Mr. Virgil, please let Bill know what the board did tonight, and if he doesn't mind, give me a call, and we can talk to him.
I think he should be talking to us, not you.
Well, I'm going to relay to you, and unlike some of
No.
us, I sent out emails to
We
everyone.
want to talk to him, because when you say, this says this, then it gets this, and then it gets, that's
There's no truth in that.
hearsay. Yeah, so if he wants to talk, I'll talk to him right now.
Well, I know this is probably gonna be surprising to you, but he's not here, and understandably, he, collected his gear and he left.
I will not talk to you.
That's perfectly fine. And that's
If
perfectly fine,
we
but,
need to talk personally, probably one-on-one,
okay, how about tomorrow?
that's fine.
Can y'all come up there tomorrow?
I can't be
Well,
here at 10,
B,
we can't come
B,
together,
you can do, Noah's Ark, you can do 2 by 2.
or one by one. I would
Or
rather-
by 1, yeah, but, yeah, you can't do more than 2 of you at a time, or it'll be a meeting.
Probably the only time I can come, if it's before 4:30, would be during my lunch.
Listen, guys, I just think y'all gotta share the guy back.
I thought we just did.
But, so, y'all fumble this however you want to. Okay, so, let him know, I'd like to talk to him. Now, can we adjourn this meeting?
You wanna say something?
Yeah, why is my name being brought up all the time?
Because you keep coming around the town asking questions. You
I ain't been around the town, Derek. I ain't been around the town not one time.
You didn't come up to the maintenance shed and ask what was going on with the piece of equipment, who was driving the snowplow truck?
No, I did not. I never did step not one foot on this town since I left.
Okay. Well, unfortunately, the people that said that you were still coming around asking questions, are not here.
Let me guess, Gary Lewis was the one that said it.
Yes.
Well, Gary is so full of shit, it ain't even funny.
Okay, well, it's been my experience, everything Gary's told me has been spot on, to include the most recent.
Well, let's just call him back down here then.
That's just not all, yes, stuff, guys, y'all.
Are we at the point to close the meeting?
We're at council comments.
I'm done. I don't have any more comments. Jessica, you got finished. Gary, you got finished. Okay.
Do you have anything else to say before we go?
I left the town. I'm done. Just leave my name out of it. That's all I ask.
Thank you, Roger. Do we have anything else we need to include in the council comments? It's been a treat, folks. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Do
Make a motion to adjourn.
I have a second?
I worked with him for a long, long time, I was the attorney for the town of Boone. And then I was on the council.
You hired him back and now you're talking about. So you hired him back just to figure out a way to fire him? I'm not in your office, Chris, I'm just walking past you.
She literally just asked if it's right to.
firing him, she just asked that.
Kristen, just now, she just asked.
I did, I said it